Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our April 7, 2026 City Council meeting. It is 7 o'clock p.m. Meeting is now in session. Any person wishing to address the City Council during oral communication must complete a speaker card that is provided at the entrance of the council chambers and submit the card to our Assistant City Clerk prior to the commencement of oral communication. Speaker cards will not be accepted after oral communication has started. Tonight's invocation will be led by Pastor Samuel Martinez from Amazing Love Ministries, and I will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. All rise.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, as we gather here this evening, we want to be a thankful people, Father. We're thankful for the freedoms of our country. We're thankful for America. We're thankful, Heavenly Father, for our city, and we thank you for the privilege that we have to get together and conduct as business of our city is conducted. We thank you, Father, for those who serve our city. We thank you for our first responders, our firefighters. We thank you for our police officers. We thank you for those who teach our children. We pray that you keep our city and our schools safe. We thank you for the principals and the vice principals and all those that serve our children. Father, we thank you. And we're asking you here that you give wisdom and guidance to all those that work for this city, those that are in authority over this city. We thank you for America. We thank you for West Covina. And we bless this city, Father. West Covina, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and grant you his shalom peace. God bless America. God bless all our servicemen, domestically and abroad. And God protect all our police officers all across our country. God bless America. God bless West Covina. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Please face the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Good evening, Mayor. Councilmember Gutierrez.
Here.
Councilman Wu.
Yep.
Councilwoman Diaz. Here. Mayor Pro Tem Contos.
Here.
Mayor Lopez Viado.
Present. Closed session was canceled this evening, so there's nothing to report out. On to presentations.
Testing.
So the first presentation, we have Taste of West Covina, recognizing Lola's by MFK. We'd like to invite Henry Pineda to the front. Come on over. So if you're looking for bold, authentic Filipino flavors in West Covina, discover Lola's by MFK, a modern Filipino kitchen serving up a comfort food with a flavorful twist. From savory classics to crave-worthy specialties, every dish is crafted with rich tradition and fresh ingredients. Whether you're gathering with family or grabbing a quick bite, Lola brings the warmth of Filipino hospitality to every table. Come experience the taste of home right here in West Covina. For the month of April, Lola by MFK will offer all customers a free order of pancakes and coffee with the purchase of any entry. Simply mention the Taste of West Covina on your visit. So we have Henry here. Would you like to talk about Lola by MFK?
Yeah, thank you. I wrote a little something. I have it on my phone. All right. So, hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Nico Pineda. Henry's actually my brother. I'm here representing our restaurant. Lola's by MFK is a modern Filipino kitchen in Anaheim and recently just opened here in West Covina at the Hong Kong Plaza. We're a family business that puts our twist on Filipino brunch. Chef Henry Pineda is known for his signature dishes, which include sisig, combined platters, French toast, and pancakes, and more. I should add, if you love ube, we're the place to be. And then again, I just want to invite everybody to join us at our restaurant for, we're open for brunch Thursdays through Monday, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then you'll especially want to join us now during Taste of West Covina because we're offering a free coffee and an order of our specialty pancakes if you mention Taste of West Covina. And thank you again all for supporting local business in the city, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you so much.
Wait, come here. We have one more. Actually, quick fun fact. In Tagalog, does anybody know what Lola means? Grandma. There it is. Perfect. So Lola does mean grandma, so we thank you, and that's the home comfort food. I have tasted the food, so please try it out. We always like to support local business. So on behalf of West Covina, we'd like to thank you for the Taste of West Covina, Lola's by MFK. So up next, the Taste of West Covina. We'd like to bring Junbi Matcha and Tea. Invite Weeha to the front. Is he here today? Oh, there. Okay, perfect. So if you're craving something refreshing, energizing, and delicious, step into Junbi Matcha Tea and experience premium, high-quality matcha like never before. From smooth, creamy matcha lattes to vibrant fruit teas, there's something for every taste. Whether you're on the go or looking for a new favorite hangout spot, Junbi is the perfect place to recharge and refresh. So for the month of April, Junbi Matcha Tea will offer all customers 15% off their order. Simply mention the Taste of West Covina on your next visit. So would you like to talk about Junbi Matcha Tea?
Hi, I'm Wendy. I'm his wife. So on behalf of our entire team, we would like to sincerely thank the City of West Covina for this recognition and the opportunity to participate in the Taste of West Covina. We'd also like to thank Mayor Letty Lopez Viado for an Economic Development Project Coordinator Gerardo Rojas for reaching out to us, the City Council, and everyone at the City Hall for the supporting local businesses and bringing our community together. Our matcha cafe is proudly locally owned and operated, and we're incredibly grateful to the City of West Covina, a community, for embracing and supporting us. It is truly an honor to be part of the Taste of West Covina, and we thank you all so much.
Thank you. So I actually have their tea. Our kids drink there all the time. But what would you recommend for anybody who comes there for the first time, or what's your favorite?
I definitely would recommend our strawberry matcha latte. That's a really good starter. If you guys haven't had matcha before, it's very familiar flavors. Another one is our Madagascar vanilla matcha latte. There's another really popular one. All our matcha, we source it straight from Japan. We get it from a 100-year-old farm. We work directly with the farmers, so it's literally farm to cup. There's no middleman, so we get control over the quality. They kind of make our matcha how we like it. So
And there's always something for children as well. You see on the screen, there's soft serve. We have vanilla soft serve and matcha soft serve, of course, and some kid-friendly drinks as well.
Yeah, we're definitely a really family kind of oriented place as well. So we do have extensive kind of non-caffeinated menu. Our strawberry milk is extremely popular with kids. Again, my wife mentioned our soft serve.
Perfect. So there you go. For the month of April, try food, try drinks, all here in West Covina. So again, on behalf of West Covina, we'd like to thank Junbi Matcha and Tea for this month's Taste of West Covina. Thank you again. So now that everybody's here waiting for, we have the badge pinning ceremony for Fire Chief Greg McKeon. So I'd like to invite him and his wife and Mike Brown to the front. So Chief McKeon brings more than 35 years of distinguished experience in fire service and emergency response operations throughout his career. He has demonstrated exceptional leadership, strategic vision, and a strong commitment to public safety. His extensive background includes senior leadership roles with the Orange County Fire Authority, OCFA, and the California Governor's Office of Emergency Services, Cal-OES, where he served in key positions such as Division Chief and Assistant Fire Chief. His expertise spans emergency management, operations, and organization leadership. So I'm going to hand off the microphone to Mike Brown. And again, thank you for everything that you did and all the transition that's occurring. And you'll take over. Thank you.
You stood. Please place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I, say your name,
I, Greg McEwen,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
I'll bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the State of California,
to the Constitution of the State of California.
that I take this obligation freely
I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that I will well and faithfully
Well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
of Fire Chief of the City of West Covina,
of Fire Chief of the City of West Covina,
acting to the best of my ability.
acting to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Chief.
Would you like to say a few words to our new chief?
I have some prepared words. Yeah?
Perfect. But we want the microphone to make sure those capturing.
Yeah. So, first of all, what I really want to say from the bottom of my heart is thank you. Very, very grateful for this opportunity. It's just been a great process, and I'll speak to that in just a moment. First and foremost, thank you to our city manager and council. Thank you for your trust and support. It means a lot to myself. Thank you to our human resources staff for their assistance through this recruitment. It's been nothing but smooth and very informative, and I have some more to do on Monday, but I'm really looking forward to that. To the fire department professional staff who are here tonight, you know who you are, and our fire prevention folks as well. Thank you very much. Sherry, where's Sherry? Sherry, raise your hand. Okay. So I know you all know Sherry, but could not do it without her. She's been nothing short of amazing. Her attention to detail, her forward thinking, and professionalism. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah. To our agency partners, and I know we had some here, and hopefully they're still here if they didn't leave. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And our public servants as well from the police department and other fire agencies. Thank you for being here this evening and your support. It means a lot to myself and my family. The support of my friends and family in attendance tonight, you know who you are. Thank you for coming. And those that aren't able to be here, I hopefully they're watching online, and it's truly uplifting to myself. To the West Covina Fire Department, specifically our fire department family, we will continue to build trust and respect up and down the organization while working together to achieve greatness. You have my sincere gratitude. Your service and skills and collaboration and forward thinking will ensure a bright future for our agency. To our city staff and leadership, I look forward to building relationships and partnerships with all of you. I've already had the ability and the advantage of doing so this week, and it was much appreciated, so thank you. And not lastly, but most importantly, our community. We'll continue to provide here at the West Covina Fire Department excellent customer service while looking for opportunities to partner with our community. I plan to be present and available for your questions, needs, and your ideas. A little bit myself, throughout my career, I've consistently put others, and I have others for myself highlighted because it's really always been about others throughout all of my career of many years, and putting their needs before my own. So you can expect that from me, that I will put myself last and put you most first in everything we do. There is a true sense of accomplishment when the team does well, and we continue to build upon our great team and our fire family. I've used the term fire family or family a few times tonight, but I wouldn't be here without my family support who are here. It's quite a large crew. I'm going to go through the names real quick. Just raise your hand, and it's important to me. So first and foremost, my wife. We were married in 1987, so you could do the math. It's about 38 years. And she's been through thick and thin with me through my careers, and really supportive, and lots of nights away, lots of weeks away, months away from home. So thank you. To my kids, so my oldest Noah and his girlfriend Andy, they're here tonight, so thank you for your support. I love you guys. To my oldest daughter Ashton and her husband Troy, and their kids, my grandkids John, Ellie Joy, Rhea, and Mary. My youngest son Jack and his wife Hannah, and then my youngest daughter Sophia with her husband Andrew and Mabel. Hi. We've got 5 grandkids and 2 more on the way, so it's going to be an amazing year. Looking forward to it. To my mom, Diane, my stepfather, Larry, and my mom's twin sister, Duran. Thank you. And my nephew, Jake, who's here tonight. I think friends are here. We'll get to those later. But yeah, thank you for all being here. I really, really could not have done it without all of your support. And I know it's been a lot of long days and a lot of nights away, and truly proud of all of you. You've all done amazing things, and I see amazing things ahead. With that, thank you again. I am grateful for this and looking forward to the opportunity and getting to work. And that's all I have.
So we will be taking a quick recess.
Mayor, if I may, we have one speaker.
Oh, we do?
Chris Concepcion, if you wanted to.
Go ahead.
Good evening. I am Chris Concepcion, and I'm pretty sure Greg's a little nervous right now. He does not know what's going to come out of my mouth. So, I first met Greg 35 years ago when we were assigned to, as rookie firefighters, to Truck 49 of Orange County Fire. Back then, Greg and I's priority was collecting baseball cards and staying out of trouble from the senior firefighters. And while we met as co-workers, we quickly became family. And it's the best kind of family because it's the kind you get to choose. So I retired this past January after 10 plus years as a fire chief. So I can tell you, Lumpy, you signed up for one of the most challenging jobs you'll ever have, but also very rewarding. And I want to spend a couple of minutes telling the community and the firefighters of West Covina why you guys got the right person for the job. As I said, I've known Greg a long time, and from the very beginning, Greg stood out not because he had all the answers, but because he cared. He cared about the job, he cared mostly about the people around him, and he cared about doing things the right way. And here's the thing. While time has changed us physically, I think he dyes his hair. The one thing that hasn't changed is the fact that Greg still cares. Over the years, Greg and I have stayed close, both professionally and personally. Our families grew up together. When we met at Truck 49, it was just Noah. None of the other kids were born yet, and it was just my oldest daughter. 8 kids between the two of us. Our families grew up together. We have lots of stories together, and I could be here all night. Some of them probably not appropriate for this crowd. So we'll leave it at that. But through all of it, I've had a front row seat to the kind of man Greg is. And that's why I can say with complete confidence, West Covina didn't just hire a fire chief. You gained a leader who will put people first, like you said, every single time. I'm witness to that. I know that's true. Greg, this job isn't easy. It'll test you. It'll demand long hours, tough decisions, and moments where there is no perfect answer. As fire chief, you carry the weight of the organization, your firefighters, their families, and this community. But there's one thing I know about Greg. It's this: he deeply cares about doing the right thing for the right reason at the right time. And in this profession, as we all know, that's everything. Greg, you don't have to be perfect, even though you always tell me you are. None of us are. But you do have to be consistent, honest, and grounded in your values. And you've been that person the entire time that I've known you. So to the men and women of the West Covina Fire Department, I can guarantee you you're in really good hands. To the community, you have a fire chief who will serve you with absolute integrity. And Greg, my friend, my brother from another mother, you've earned this moment, and I couldn't be more proud of you. Just remember, no matter how big the job gets, you're still the same guy I nicknamed Lumpy 35 years ago. Congratulations, Chief McEwen.
I'll have council have an opportunity to share a few words. I'll start with Mayor Pro Tem Cantos.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief McEwen, it is such a pleasure to witness this moment of your ascendancy. Here begins a new chapter for us as a city with you as our new fire chief. It's a time of change, and it's also a time of new and wonderful ideas that you're going to bring to fruition, not only through what you conceive, but also through how you work with the community, as well as with all of the members of our firefighting team, civilian and sworn, to maximize the difference that you're going to make in saving lives and optimizing the ways that you contribute to everyone throughout this entire community. I'm just really excited that you have joined us as our chief, and my appreciation too to Brenda and the kids and grandkids and other members of your family for lending you to us and for all that they do to back you up behind the scenes. And I am really excited about all that is to come. So, sir, congratulations.
Thank you. Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief McEwen, I'm really happy and I'm really proud of you. And I think that our staff all our firefighters are going to be very, very happy with you. And I'm sure all our staff is and our community. So I just want to congratulate you, and I want to thank your family for being here to be able to celebrate with you. And, you're going to have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes, I just wanted to say congratulations, Chief McKinnon. I want to begin by congratulating our new fire chief, Greg McKinnon. This is a tremendous responsibility, and I wish you nothing but success as you lead our fire department forward. The men and women under your command serve this community with courage every day, and your leadership will play a critical role in supporting them. As you step into this role, I also want to emphasize something just as important as operational excellence: integrity. Leadership is just not about making decisions. It is about speaking up when something is not right, even when it comes at a personal cost. We have seen in our own city that leadership and integrity can sometimes come with consequences. Both Fire Chiefs Vincent Capelli and Larry Whithorn spoke up when they believed something was wrong. Mr. Ridhorn's case, a jury ultimately found in his favor and awarded over $4 million, reinforcing the principle that accountability and truth matter. That history is important, not to dwell on the past, but to remind us all of the responsibility that comes with leadership. Chief McKinnon, my hope for you is simple. Lead with strength, lead with fairness, and always lead with integrity. If something is not right, say something. That is how we build trust, protect our firefighters, and truly serve our community. Congratulations again, Chief McKinnon. I look forward to working with you and wish you great success in your role. Congratulations, Chief.
Councilman Tony Wu.
Congratulations, our new chief. Okay, this is a beautiful city. It's a very proud city, very proud West Covina Fire Department. Now you're going to lead this very proud West Covina Fire Department. We have fire station. We have a lot of equipment. We have a lot of truck. We have a lot of ambulance. We have a lot of paramedic. We have a lot of staff, and they are all working very hard. Okay, it's a great city. It's a great department. So now you're the leader over there and do your job to lead and save. But one thing, I'm very jealous. You have so many family, and you have so many grandkids. I have none. And you're very productive, okay? So not only you are good, okay, and as a leader, you are a good, productive person too. And we need population, okay? And I don't know why my kids not producing, okay? So I want to, okay, follow your footstep, okay, and force my kid to have baby, okay? So I think this is something showing family over there to support you. A family is the most important thing. That's how we can be sitting over here, because of family support and united, and we stand. And I see all the members showing up, your kid and grandkid over here. We're very proud. We're proud to have you. I wish you all the best. This is a great agency, and with your leadership, you can lead and make them proud and make West Covina safe. Thank you so much.
Today is your day, and the focus is on you, and we want to say a big congratulations to our new fire chief, all your family that are here today. It's wonderful to see all the support. We, as the city and the council, support you. We do have a wonderful fire department. They are great. We look forward to your leadership in enhancing what we have and making it better and making the future brighter. We just wanted to say thank you. I know your family is going to be sacrificing, because there's going to be a lot of days and times and hours that you're going to be committed and putting your time to serve our residents. So we thank the family for that. And we look forward to a wonderful new year, 2026, and looking forward to what our fire department can bring forward. So thank you again. Congratulations. And today we do have refreshments and cake. And so with that being said, we will take a recess so that we can quickly enjoy the company of others and then get back to doing business as usual. So congratulations. Okay, meeting's back in session. Congratulations again. While everybody's going upstairs to have refreshments, we're going to continue our meeting. So on to the city manager's report, which will be given by Acting City Manager Mylan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Okay, we're good. On Friday, March 27th, the Cortez Park Community and Senior Center hosted a spring tailgate celebration for 200 participants. DJ Phil brought the energy to the dance floor. Thank you to the Police Officers Association of West Covina for the food donation. The Palmview Park and Community Center hosted its annual Easter event on Thursday, April 2nd. It was a joyful and inclusive event that brought together individuals of all abilities to celebrate the spring season. With over 65 participants in attendance, the party featured a variety of activities, including an Easter egg hunt, photos with the Easter Bunny, face painting, balloon twisting, pizza, and dance party with music everyone could enjoy. Sportsplex facility rental, LAFD softball tournament. On Saturday, April 4th, the West Covina Sportsplex hosted the LA County Fire Department annual Bear Classic Tournament. The event welcomed 26 stations, and over 1,000 family members and friends were in attendance to support the Los Angeles County Fire Department. The Sportsplex Sportsplex collected approximately $9,000 in admission and rental fees. On Thursday, April 2nd, the Community Services Department participated in the Merlinda Elementary School Open House and Community Resource Fair. Staff distributed deliverables and information of all programs and services provided citywide to approximately 100 children and families. The Cameron Community Center hosted a spring youth basketball tournament from March 20th to March 22nd, featuring a total of 24 games throughout the weekend. The event drew an estimated 600 attendees and included vendors such as Lazy Dog and Athens, along with small local businesses that operated in the snack bar and a performance by the West Covina cheer team. The tournament created a lively, community-focused atmosphere that focused on players having fun. On April 4th, the Cortez Community and Senior Center celebrated Easter dance style. Participants enjoyed an egg hunt, entertainment, just a delicious meal, and great fun. Thank you to Alignment Health Plan for being our event sponsor. On March 16th, the Cortez Park Community and Senior Center celebrated St. Patrick's Day with 200 in attendance. Lucky the Irish brought DJ Rudy, a delicious meal prepared by chefs Holly and Teresa, and great fun. On Saturday, March 28th, the City of West Covina, in partnership with the Kiwanis Club of West Covina, hosted the Easter Extravaganza. I always have a tough time with that word. Extravaganza.
Extravaganza. How to do that.
That one gets me every time. Event at Cortez and Del Norte parks, drawing approximately 3,500 participants at each park. Families enjoyed Easter egg hunts, featured over 30,000 eggs, along with a potato sack race, live music, vendors, face painting, balloon twisting, petting zoo, and pony rides. The community truly enjoyed this memorable event. Brush clearance at Galster Park. The city is advancing a plan to improve safety and environmental conditions at Galster Park by developing a scope of work to remove dead and overgrown vegetation. This effort will focus on reducing fire risk, enhancing visibility and accessibility, and establishing ongoing maintenance practices to support a safer and cleaner and more sustainable park community. This project was approved by the City Council last budget session, and we are getting closer to launching our cleanup program for this area. The annual Earth Arbor Day celebration is scheduled for Saturday, April 18th at Galster Park. In addition to the ceremony, the city is hosting a community cleanup event in conjunction with the annual Earth Arbor Day event. We are seeking members of our community to help us beautify our hiking trails, picnic areas, and green spaces. The community cleanup will take place from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. and will culminate with the Earth Day, Arbor Day festivities that will take place from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Those interested in participating are encouraged to wear long-sleeve shirt, pants, and closed-toe shoes, and a hat is recommended. The City of West Covina is cooperating with Vaccine Vets to offer pet vaccine clinics on the fourth Saturday of each month at Del Norte Park from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. Services will include a combination of free and low-cost options on a walk-in basis only. A presentation will be scheduled for a City Council meeting in May to introduce the community to the Vaccine Vets. Again, upcoming events, Earth Day, Arbor Day, and Community Cleanup, Saturday, April 18th at Galster Park. That concludes my presentation for tonight.
Thank you. So before moving on to oral communication, we'd like to adjourn this meeting in remembrance of Rosa Maria Rocha. Rosa Maria Rocha was an immigrant from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Mexico. She migrated to Tucson, Arizona in 1945 and then to California in 1955, finally settling in West Covina in 1970. Upon entering the U.S., she learned English and took courses to better herself. On September 17, 1974, she became a citizen of the United States. In her community, she was charitable and giving to the less fortunate. She would give money or food and often opened up her home. She was known for her kindness and caring nature. She is the mother of one of our planning commissioner. Rosa made an impact in her community, and to her family, she was everything. A loving mother to 6 children, Yolanda, Lupe, Rose, Arturo, Marcia, and Livier. She was a cherished grandmother to 18 grandchildren, a proud great-grandmother to 51, and a great-great-grandmother to 5. Her legacy lives on through generations who were shaped by her love and guidance. She'll be deeply missed, forever loved, and never forgotten. Now we will move on to oral communications. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker unless modified by the presiding officer or the City Council. Requests to speak on agenda items will be heard prior to requests to speak on the non-agenda items. We all know the drill. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Be respectful and so forth. And when you hear your name being called, you may sit in the front row designated for public speakers. The time will start when your name is called. So, Assistant City Clerk, how many speakers do we have tonight?
We have 6 speakers this evening, Mayor.
Go ahead.
John Shoemaker, followed by Jerry Patches, followed by Mr. G.
Oh, wait, sorry. Is your mic on?
Nope.
Okay, there it is. Now it is. Go ahead.
Probably be a few people talking about the topic at hand, the no parking for sweeping days. It goes back to, I don't understand how something could be more expensive to fix than doing it right the first time. Let's just pretend we didn't do it at all and start all over again. Or just quit the stuff of enforcing these parking regulations because the city is desperate for money. It solves the problem. The other thing I want to talk about is after watching the last meeting, 120 minutes of nonsense and never listening to things, there were two nuggets that came out of that. And I have to compliment, Councilmember Gutierrez about it. One, he pointed out that different members of the city council are using private emails for city business. Something that he's actually being sued for. Maybe we need to add a few more people to that lawsuit on the city. The other thing that I have to give him credit for was when it came to the appointment of Bill Elliott to the Planning Commission. He actually showed judgment in a guy who was under criminal investigation and charges for beating up a member of the public representing our city. I mean, it was absolutely insane. That was actually the right thing to do. And some of the reasons that were given for it, we don't need to get into, but he was right. To show you how right he was by not appointing this person who was actually admitted to all the things he was accused of that he repeatedly said, I didn't do, he did do. Repeatedly, how correct Councilmember Gutierrez was. His own wife, Councilmember Diaz, would not appoint him. That tells you a whole lot right there. Now, after even having those good points of having the intelligence not to appoint somebody who is banned from City Hall, that'd be kind of hard to be on the Planning Commission when you are banned from City Hall. But then tonight, we get a new fire chief, and he has to bring up something completely unrelated to the man instead of just saying, congratulations, hope you have a long, strong career in the city. Does one thing smart and then does something stupid to offset it. Unbelievable. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Jerry Patches, followed by Mr. G, followed by Justin.
Good evening, Council, and thank you for the pet vaccination clinic. Concept is wonderful. Agenda item 10, or the street sweeping program, is another example of why state auditors repeatedly tell West Covina that it makes poor decisions because it does not actually analyze the financial implications of decisions before implementing a program. This piecemeal and ad hoc approach wastes tax dollars. The city has spent over $1 million on a program that residents don't want. We want clean streets at a reasonable cost and with minimal impact to our lifestyle. Tonight, you have a staff report that updates the street sweeping program for alternate sides on alternate day sweeping. That report expresses more concern about the negative impact alternate day sweeping will have on city streets, the city yard, and other issues employees deal with than it does to solving the problems residents are expressing concern about with no parking on both sides of the street during street sweeping. That report also recommends outrageous staffing levels and street sweeping increases costing over $1.5 million for 3 alternate route options and $600,000 for code enforcement. That $2.1 million is above what the city's already spent. The street sweeping options considered tonight only have costs for 2 options when in fact there are other options that would be much less expensive. First, the city could go back to the way street sweeping was done for many years, every other week. That would save millions. Our streets would be clean. Residents would be happier. We were in compliance back then. Second, instead of having a code officer accompany each street sweeper, the city could adopt random parking enforcement methods by having code enforcement and/or police volunteers enforce parking as part of their regular duties. Random enforcement is surprisingly effective. I know, I worked with it. Finally, and most importantly, after sign installation began, it was said during a council meeting that 800 resident households contacted the city expressing concern about no parking on both sides of the street sweeping, during street sweeping. Please care about the 800 people who have no place to park. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. G, followed by Justin, followed by Josh Murray.
Good evening, Mayor, Councilman, and staff. My issue with street sweeping is the efficiency. When I was a kid, I was fascinated by them when they drove by my street, stuff like that, in other parts of the city and countries I wrote. One thing I have noticed, the lack of water. 90% of the time, they throw the dust up. Goes on the sidewalk, goes on the thing. So are they really cleaning? Now, how you enforce it, what you do, you decide. But a lot of those people that are complaining about we have nowhere to park, well, they probably put an ADU. They have 17 people living in a 2-bedroom house and the R1 resident. Because they switched the plans and allowing people to put in baby farms, factories in their home. I'm about pro-business, but when they're running illegal alien businesses in these areas where they have a lot of issues with parking on the street, whose fault's that? Also, the fact is, in some of the neighborhoods I drive by, right in front of their doors, they have the signs. I don't know who went down and looked at that. It's the efficiency and the prospect of, I would hate, my neighbor has a sign right in front of his door and it's still there. No one sat down and looked at the quality of control of what's going on. You're to clean the street, clean it. Use the proper amount of water so it gets sucked up. Also, construction sites, one of the things for code enforcement, make sure in the large, you've seen in the city of Los Angeles, trucks come by, they have to make sure they kick the dirt off the tires before they go on the street. Also, somebody's going to make sure that all the nails, because they take those sweepers, they grab the nails, they don't get into the back of the truck, they send them to another neighborhood. I've had to replace my tires several times. My neighbor now walks down and makes sure police is that area because, one, there's not enough suction in those things. I want to thank all of you and wish you a belated happy Easter. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Justin, followed by Josh Murray, followed by Christina Livas. Christine, thank you.
Good evening. Excuse my voice. Oh, kind of losing it, yelling too much. My name's Justin. I'm a West Covina resident. I just want to speak on transparency and process, specifically regarding item 4 and a broader pattern that we're starting to see. On the fire station 3 emergency declaration, I understand the need to act quickly when there's a real health and safety risk. But based on the staff report, the situation is described as ongoing deterioration and deferred maintenance. So that's a raised concern. An emergency, by definition, should be sudden and unexpected. So my question is, how did this reach a point where competitive bidding is now being bypassed entirely? And related to that, what specific process was used to select Sunshine Pacific Group? Were there other contracts considered, or was this the direct selection? And if you're skipping standard bidding, transparency matters even more, not less. And then on the street sweeping program, it's looking at a potential jump to over $5 million in its first year cost, and significantly expanded enforcement. So just want to ask clearly, what is the projected increase in citations under these new models? And how's the city ensuring these programs is focused on service, not revenue generation through enforcement? This is now more than one instance where normal processes are being bypassed or significantly expanded. So the final question is, what safeguards are in place to ensure these expectations don't become the normal? I'm not here to oppose necessary work. I'm just here to make sure decisions are being made in a way that protects the public trust, not just expedites outcomes. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Josh, followed by Christine.
Hello and good evening, Mayor and members of the Council. My name is Josh Murray. I am here on behalf of West Covina Library. I would like to invite the children of the community ages 5 to 12 and their parent or caregiver to learn all about seeds at the Miracle of Seeds program on Wednesday, April 8th, tomorrow, from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Join us as we discover how seeds become plants and other fun facts about seeds. Then decorate a flower pot and plant a seed to care for and observe at home. Supplies are limited and advanced registrations required on our website, lacountylibrary.org. Also, I'd like to invite the teens of the community to Teen Game Day on the same day, tomorrow, Wednesday, April 8th, from 4 to 5 p.m. Teens will have the opportunity to play various games from Connect 4, Giant Jenga, Pictionary, Apples to Apples, and much, much more. And so this is going to be a very exciting event for our teens. This program is for ages 12 to 17, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Christine Livas.
I'm a resident here of West Covina and homeowner for over 40 years. I'm here to speak about Haven City Market.
Can you put the mic on you?
The loud noise, the loud music that's coming from that particular venue or whatever it is. I live 37.37 feet, 3,700 feet from that market, and the music just radiates and vibrates into my whole street and into my house. I can't even sit in my patio outside on Saturday night because the music is like right there. It's like a bar, like I'm in a bar or something. And also in my front yard, it's the same thing. I can't open up my bedroom window to go to sleep because the music goes straight in. And that because my bedroom window faces that market. Do they have? I think they're in violation of the West Covina ordinance on noises. 15-80 something, 85, and also do they have permits for this? And this is every weekend. They start from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Live band music, and they're screaming. How can I live in that environment? They're violating my privacy. You know, and it's I open up an issue with the city and they close it right away. Oh, we're working on it. I did one last year, nothing happened. I did one this year, and they said, well, we have other violations we're working on. I guess I'm at the bottom of the list. No, I should be at the top of the list because it is outside of that area. It's radiating into my community. It's a bedroom community. This is when I moved in here, it's been a bedroom community. It's not a bar community because that's what's coming out of this place. I don't know if you guys want to come to my street. Come and sit there, and you won't enjoy it. So, do they have permits for this, for outdoor?
At the end, we give everybody an opportunity to use their 3 minutes, and then at the end, our city manager will answer all the concerns at the end of public comment.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor, I have a late submission, if you will allow it.
Go ahead.
Mario Sobavaro.
Mario.
Apologize for the delay. I had a loose horses to deal with earlier. So, Thank you, City Council, for allowing me to speak. A couple of topics I wanted to bring up here. March 26th, we had our Town Hall 1922 event with the students. West Covina came in victorious. West Covina, they came out strong to that event. Mayor Pro Tem Cantos was present. The students knocked it out of the park. We are working on the recording, editing to get that out, to YouTube so people can watch it. If anybody has any concerns about our youth and our future, you shouldn't. I mean, these kids really, really did a great job. In addition to that, speaking on behalf of the Historical Society, we are done judging the poster contest, and we will be putting those up on display at the library this coming Saturday. We're working with Josh on that. 2 Saturdays? Oh, 2 Saturdays from now. Give us more time. All right, cool. We'll take it. What else is going on? Not sure what the resident was speaking on with regards to the market, because our market doesn't take place till April 17th. Friday, it's the first night market at Hearst Ranch. We do have permits. We have worked with the city, and we are very cognizant of the noise and positioning so that does not pollute out into the environment. That is going from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Again, April 17th. We have a lot of good vendors coming out. It's going to be food, music, lots of fun. Hope people can make it out to that. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that ends our public communication. We'll have our acting city manager please respond to all the public comment concerns.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Shoemaker, Ms. Patras, Mr. G, Justin, you're commenting on some agenda items, and I'll wait for that discussion to come up after answer a couple more questions here. Josh Murray, thank you on the update for the West Covina Library. Ms. Levis, for the Haven City Market, they do have a CUP. They do have permits for music on Friday and Saturdays at Haven City. But in the meantime, I will have our public safety manager speak with you about the noise and make sure it's in compliance with their CUP conditions, but they are licensed and permitted to have music. Mario, thank you for the update on the town hall and the update on the Historical Society. And that concludes my responses for tonight.
Thank you. On to consent calendar. Council, is there anything you'd like to pull from the consent calendar?
I'll do one.
We have Councilman Gutierrez 1. And then anybody else? Yes. Okay, and 4. So we have 2. So do I have a motion to approve consent calendar items 1 through 4 with the exception of 1 and 4?
So move.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilman Wu and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cantos to approve consent calendar items with the exception of item number 1 and item number 4. Councilman Gutierrez?
Aye.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantos?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez Viado?
Aye. Motion passes.
If I may, really quick on item, the JPA item, I just want to, for the record, clarify that the mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Cantos, and the finance director are all appointed as delegates to JPIA.
Thank you. It's you and I.
And as a quick also correction to the record, my name is Olegario D. Cantos VII, not Olegario Cantos Gutierrez. Just wanted to clarify.
I don't know, you married to him.
All right. Got that correction. Okay, so on to item number 1. Go ahead, Councilman Gutierrez.
I just want a roll call on that one.
But we just did a roll call.
Separate.
Okay. Roll call. So
move.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilman Wu, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Cantos for agenda item number 1. Councilmember Gutierrez?
No.
Councilman Wu?
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantos?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez?
aye. Motion passes. On to item number 4. Mayor Pro Tem Cantos.
Thank you. This is with regard to the emergency that we need. I just needed to ask staff, how was this allowed to deteriorate to the point where this was an emergency? I mean, this whole thing with rats and mice and such. I mean, it must take some time before it deteriorates to that degree. So how did this happen?
Well, I think I can best answer that. It's been a history of deferred maintenance in the infrastructure and our facilities, and this includes the fire station number 3 that's being discussed tonight.
So how was this discovered?
I'll ask Mike Cressup, our public works superintendent, to come up, and he's been firsthand dealing with this issue.
Good evening, everyone. Mayor Pro Tem, council members. 2 separate issues. The infestation was discovered by the firefighters that are housed at the location. Regular routine pest control was part of it, but the situation just got worse in a very fast manner. As far as the state of the fire station, it is something that has regularly been discussed in CIP. This council has approved money for fixing and repairing not only fire stations, but all of our facilities. So kind of 2 separate issues there. What made the issue dire is the actual infestation that we just recently found out about.
So when was this discovered, and based on the infestation degree, how long did this infestation exist?
The second we were notified about it was about 3 weeks ago, and we got on it right away, called out pest control and also, different vendors, and did what we could to get into it. The issue in this scenario is the age of the facility and then the condition of the facility. There are entry points and other areas that there's concern that there might be nests and places for rodents to hide and affect the condition of the facility. So in this case, everything's gonna have to be pulled out, sealed, and done that. And when obviously pulling all that old material out, we're gonna have to replace it, putting it back in. So we're just gonna put in, we're gonna put in standard equipment for that we would use now.
I understand that, but how was it that this wasn't detected earlier? Considering the size of the infestation, how could this have taken this long to even detect at all? Because I worry that our firefighters were living in really deplorable conditions, and there are other health implications with regard to rat droppings and other things, and that just causes other issues. But I just can't imagine how this could have been allowed to be, for it to just be discovered 3 weeks ago. Does that mean that there was a lack of inspection to detect things earlier? Or is there a system in place to make sure that these sorts of infestations don't occur at any of our fire stations?
The question, I want to answer your question correctly. The fire stations, are not like our city hall or our community centers that have a contract in cleaning, janitorial services and things of that nature. The fire stations are kept up by the people that are housed there. So as issues are reported, we address those issues. I don't know how to answer your question of why it took so long. When the issue came to me, I went straight to the city manager and I addressed the issue to the best I could in that moment, and then also moving forward. So I can't explain why it wasn't talked about prior to that. It's not the first time we've had a rat in a building, to be perfectly clear and transparent. We do have rats, but to explain why this got so severe so fast, I can't answer that question.
Because typically for that type of infestation, it can take 6 weeks, and so it just is surprising that the infestation had to get this bad before it was reported. So at a systemic level, Superintendent Cressup, what needs to be done to ensure that we can detect these things early? Because what happens at a practical level is that now we are forced into an emergency where we have to spend $123,000 that we wouldn't have had to spend if this were caught early. And if there are other festering issues like this, either in our fire stations or in any other city facilities, we're going to be here in the future again, where there will be an emergency that we'll be forced to grapple with and spend more money than what would have happened had something been caught early enough so that way we could at least get a competitive bidding process and get the best price. But instead, because of the emergency, we're having to spend more than what would have happened had this been taken care of while this was still not a large problem. So that's a systemic issue that I wanted to get to the heart of here.
Mayor Pro Tem Contos, I understand your concerns, and our goal is to be as proactive as we can in all scenarios and stay ahead of all issues from infestations to weeds and all those things. Those are something that we're evaluating every day, looking at our scopes, our contracts, our manpower, our procedures, using CJPIA for inspections. In general, we are just trying to be more proactive and making sure we're staying on top of that. But I don't have a direct answer for you this particular moment. You know, it's something we can discuss with Acting City Manager Mylan, and we can work towards a more detailed answer. But in this moment, I can't 100% answer your question.
Okay, so at a systemic level, can you put together a checklist of certain things that we should do on a proactive basis to go through all of the fire stations, including checking for rats, roaches, rodents, whatever else, and other habitability issues, so that way we can check things off early before things get so bad? And then if there are issues that need to be addressed, then to put that through a procurement process that would allow us to get the best price while we still have time to take care of things before the jobs become so large and frankly extremely expensive to have to take care of.
Understood, and we can work with our users, whether it be community services at their facilities, city hall users, fire. We can work with all of them and make sure that they have the tools to report and identify issues so we can move quickly and be as cost effective as possible and making sure that we're not getting into situations like this again.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cressup. Real quick, before I forget, I'd like to ask the Assistant City Clerk to make a note that I'm going to ask later for for us to ask city staff to put together a comprehensive checklist so that way we can check these facilities to prevent these unnecessary emergencies from occurring again?
Actually, I'm just curious because I know, like in my facility at work, we already have training that, you know, mice, rodents, preparation and cleaning and so forth. Does the city of West Covina have that with training at least to let staff know, whether it's a quarterly training, yearly training and so forth?
I do not recall a training on rodents and infestations, no.
Okay. Councilman Wu.
Yeah, just want to share with you, I have a separate garage. Okay, a couple of years ago, I have just suddenly, I have a rat came in to be my guest, and not only they show up, they even have baby. Okay, so I understand sometimes things just happen and they just continue to produce, and I'm trying to very hard, I have a 4-car garage and very hard to get them out. And I have to hire people to do it because, and so same thing too, recently the heavy rain, and I have rat and went into maybe squirrel or rat went into my heater, okay, compartments and started making a net. So sometimes this thing happen, okay. So and now we find out the problem, we have to fix it right away. And the only thing I care is we have to fix the issue, okay, and make sure, okay, we have no rat dropping. I right away hire people to get rid of the infestation, the rat, the issue, and the same thing too. I block any of potentially entry, okay, for the animal. They're looking for shelter, the winter, the rain, this and that. Sometimes it happen. So, okay, and I think the city manager have authority to use $150,000 to fix the issue right away. And we want to make sure our firefighters live in the safe zone without the red dropping and same thing, okay, so, and I want to move the motion to approve.
Well, before we do so,
but I have more motion, you can have
the motion. I'm Councilwoman Diaz.
I just have a quick question. I'm just wondering, is there any way we can have like a maintenance program with the pest control company? Okay.
We currently do have a maintenance program on there. If we get any complaints at any facility, we go on, we start at a monthly basis. If that doesn't solve the problem, then we up the frequency of the extermination or whatever, what measures they put in place, whether it be traps.
How often do they do this?
We start out at a month, but at some locations we've had to go up to bi-weekly or weekly as well.
And these are for all the fire stations?
Fire stations, community centers, wherever we have an issue.
Okay.
If an issue is reported to us, we bring out a professional right away.
So it looks like they were working on it and you found out about it and you're addressing it. So, okay, I'll second that.
The question I know that was concern I know with the public in regards to the competitive bids. How was that? And was all these items that are listed, are those all emergency? And are those able to be a separate bid to make sure the cost is the least as possible?
Well, in this case, our goal is to get the fire station back operational and people back into they're using the facility. We want to make sure they have a safe, clean, healthy environment, and it doesn't affect their work, the service area or work that they have to do. So in this case, emergency was decided as a way to move forward with that, to expedite the process and make sure we get the facility back up and running as quickly as possible. All these things are part of the mitigation. So there's concern about some wall areas, some stuff behind kitchen cabinetry. The ceiling tiles there are an older style tile that are attached directly to the beams, and there's some cracks and some entry points. So the goal is to seal off all entry points and make sure that there's no place for them to hide, any corners to get back into. So all the stuff has to be removed and gone back in. The emergency is just to get this back up and operational and make sure that the facility is working properly for the firefighters working there in a timely manner.
And on your end, making sure that we got the best amount, and how many was reached out? How many bids came?
I reached out to 3 companies. One company didn't even respond. We reached out to ATI, who's an insurance company that just did our flood here at City Hall, and they could not get back to us in a timely manner and couldn't even start the job for over a month. And the third vendor gave us the quote and can start right away. So I do believe the cost is competitive. I didn't get a number back to compare that to, or we've put it in the report, but more than one contractor was reached out to.
Okay. Sounds good. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes. So you say there's an infestation problem, right? There's rats in the fire station. How long has fire station number 3 has had rats? I know the answer, but I want the public to know the answer.
They have had rats prior to this, but I can't tell you dates or whatever.
It's been years, right?
I can't say that for sure. I can't answer that correctly. There has been rats at that facility and other facilities, but the extent of this case, in my time in maintenance, I have not seen it as that. I haven't seen where I was getting snapshots every day from the kitchen of traps going off and things of that nature. So yes, there have been rats there before. I can't specify how often or how many years, but I will say that in my 7 years of maintenance, I have not seen it to this extent.
Yeah, because I remember going there with Chief Brown, and I believe the firefighters also had conducted the Firefighters Association had also conducted a test to test for mold, asbestos, and so forth. And some of those tests came back positive. In addition to that, they voiced a long history of concerns that rats were coming up from the building next to it. They used to be the former library site, and believed the water was cut off. So the rats, my understanding, has been an issue for a couple of years now. Now, we have an infestation issue right now, rodents. Why are we hiring a solar company to address this issue?
We're not using a solar company. We're using a general contractor. They do floors, all kinds of things.
Yeah, Pacific Group America Inc., their website is a solar panel company.
Like I said, they're a general that's done other work that meets all the criteria. They're registered with the DIR. They have all the proper insurance. In the work that we have bid out, they've done a good job for us. So, like I said, it's a time factor. They can start the job right away and get the facility back up and running quickly.
And what was the reason why mining couldn't use his his allocated funds?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Why couldn't you use your allocated? Your budgetary limits.
When Mr. Crescent brought this to my attention, I authorized the immediate repairs to address this issue, and this comes back for ratification from the council at this point. I will say that, one thing different from this structure to other city facilities is we have people living, eating, sleeping in this fire station. So as long as the kitchen and the areas are not habitable, I mean, we have people having to eat 3 meals out every day instead of being able to cook inside the structure. So it was approved for immediate repairs. It comes back to you now for ratification.
And are they currently performing the work right now at the station?
Work will start immediately if this is approved.
But we're ratifying it, so it was already approved, right?
I approved under my authority, but we're coming back to the council to get your approval. It shouldn't be ratification; it's just your approval at this time.
And so we're going to be removing the cabinets and then putting traps in the walls, or
No.
putting poison.
There's concern that there is areas behind the cabinets that nests and rodents are living in, and other pests and bugs and things of that nature. So to ensure that the wall is sealed, drywalled correctly, and everything done, all that stuff's going to have to come off, and then it will be put back. The ceiling will be drywalled. Currently, it's a tile where there's, in certain areas there's tiles falling, cracks. That will all be drywalled and sealed, so there's no area that rats can go through the rafters and come down through into their living area.
Yeah. So my concern is our firefighters will still be living there and sleeping there while that is going on. And the problem is that the city has test results in our possession that shows positive results for potential mold and asbestos. So how are we going
to address that? That report was given to me, and that report was given to the contractors for the bid. So all the proper abatement that is going to be done in that area is going to be handled in that. The asbestos in the tile, there's lead in the paint, but that report was given as part of the bid. So those areas will all be addressed and mitigated properly.
So they will. Because there's a bedroom right outside that kitchen. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to cause a risk management issue because we're approving a contract that could cause health effects to our firefighters.
We are currently working with the firefighters that are working at that station and discussing all those issues. Mylan and I have discussed it as well. We are going to do everything we can to make sure that they have what they need to work during the construction period, and whatever accommodations need to take place, Mylan has approved already.
Yeah, so I'm gonna support this because it's to support our firefighters, but I want to make it very clear on the record that we as a city have a legal obligation under Cal OSHA to ensure that any work we do, that our firefighters are protected during that construction process, and so I want to make sure that we stay on top of that.
Understood.
Thank you.
That is defaulted, and right here it's rodent pest abatement, and that's why the price is a little higher than normal, because they're including all these things that need to keep the fire safe. That being said, we have a first and we have a second. Roll call, please. Didn't think it was
I have a motion. I have a motion by Councilman Wu, a second by Councilwoman Diaz to approve consent calendar item number 4, emergency repairs to Fire Station 3, and approval of construction services agreement with Sunshine Pacific Group America. Councilman Gutierrez.
Aye.
Councilman Wu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Contos.
Aye.
Mayor Lopez Viado.
Aye. Motion passes.
I have one.
And I just want to say it's Councilmember Gutierrez. Excuse me.
Yeah, thank you. I have one question for staff. And then also it stated that the emergency powers will continue.
Yes.
Is there a limit on how much?
It'll continue. Bring back every meeting until the work is completed. This is a public contract code. This is a public building, a public project. So Mylan could not immediately expend that money. He needed to declare it an emergency, which this council just did on a 5-0 vote. But to be proactive, acting city manager with Mike Cressup got the ball rolling, got everything, did all the legwork, all the missionary work, and brought it to you in a timely manner. And now that you voted on tonight, they'll immediately start tomorrow and make sure all these issues are resolved.
Great.
So once this is completed, it'll come back to council on a consent calendar for you guys to either, at that point in time, terminate the emergency because it's been resolved.
Great. Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Every month, every 30 days.
Yeah, just a quick question. So our project manager, Robert, will be on top of this too, right?
Yes, it's going to be a team effort on this one for sure.
Yes, so we have a supervisor on top to see how the contract go and how fast can complete. We want to make sure it's a clean and complete job.
Absolutely.
And also not over the budget. Yeah.
Thank you.
Understood.
Any other questions for that last item? All right, seeing none. Department regular matters. Item number 5, consideration of update to street sweeping program for alternate sides or on alternate day sweeping. We'll go ahead, Mr. Myland, who will present the staff report.
I have an engineering department. Ahmad is here, and Brian Cervantes is here. Robert Ortega is also here. Matt Ariza is also here to answer any enforcement questions.
Thank you, Mylan. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, members of City Council. Ahmad Ansari, Contract City Engineer for the City of West Covina. Pleasure to be here. We have a PowerPoint to share with the City Council. A lot of the information goes back to 2023, but I'm going to walk everyone through the process, the background, how we got to this point. Then from there, I'm going to go to the route options, basically what we practice today, current practice, and then, what the alternate approach, which alternate side on alternate days would really look like, both from the operational standpoint as well as the cost. So there are 3 categories of cost that I'm going to go through: street sweeping cost, enforcement cost, signage cost, and then, I'm going to share some additional considerations, and then, the total cost, and then it's for the City Council for consideration and provide input. Next slide. Okay, so real quick on the background. There were several community meetings back in 2023 to discuss the overall program. In November of that year, staff brought the consideration for the street sweeping program before the City Council. In December of that same year, City Council directed staff for transition from a bi-weekly, which is every other week, to weekly schedule. In October of the following year, the City Council awarded a contract for the installation of street sweeping signage. February 4th of 2025, last year, the City Council adopted the ordinance related to this, and then amended the municipal code to update the sweeping parking restrictions. A little bit more about the background. In February of last year, the city staff issued the notice to proceed for the installation of the signs. In July, the City Council approved the purchase of a couple of trucks, 4 trucks and 2 police interceptors, for the program. In August of last year, the City Council directed staff to revise the program to an alternate side, alternate day option and schedule. And in November of last year, the City Council accepted the completed work as far as the signage installation, which throughout this presentation, I would like to call that phase 1 of the installation of the signs. So getting into the route options, option number 1 tonight represents the current practice that we have. As the City Council and general public know, each street is swept the day after the trash collection. The map to the right, color-coded, shows the trash days, for different parts of the city. And then, in the dense areas of the city that are shown with those circles, alternate side parking for the residents is already available, and they do it on the alternate side sweeping. And currently, we have 3 4-hour time zones for each day of the sweeping where the parking is restricted. With the current practice, we have 4 sweepers that are in motion. Next slide. Okay. Option number 2 is really the first option to look at the alternate side, alternate day street sweeping. And so the characteristics is that one side is swept one day after the trash collection, and the second side, the opposite side of the street, is swept 2 days after the trash collection. The alternate side, the parking allowed on the other side of the street is allowed for the residents throughout the city, not just the dense areas. And in this particular option, we have 2 5-hour time zones for the parking restriction. In this particular option, in addition to the 4 sweepers that we have, the requirement is to have 7 sweepers. The option number 3, which is really the second option for the new program, or not the new program, but the alternate side, alternate day. Side 1 is swept 2 days after trash collection. Side 2 is swept 3 days after trash collection. And of course, the opposite side of the street is provided for parking. And then similar to option number 2, 2 5-hour time zones are provided. Again, 7 sweepers are going to be required in this case as well. And then finally, the last option, which is again, alternate side, alternate day, the 4-day sweeping program. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention is that the previous 2 options, options 2 and 3, 5 days of sweeping will occur. Whereas this one is going to be a 4-day sweeping program instead of 5 frequency. The sweeping will be done 1 day after the trash collection, up to 3 days. On the other side, it would be after 3 days after the trash collection. And then, very similar to the other options, obviously the alternate side is available for the parking and 2 5-hours. And again, it requires 7 sweepers. Next slide, please. So getting into the first category of the cost is really the street sweeping cost. As I mentioned earlier, option number 1 is the current practice. It demonstrates that you have no additional cost for the street sweeper equipment. The current contract is $1.3 million and change. And then option 2, option 3, and option 4, it will require to purchase additional sweepers, which is about $1.6 million, and then it will increase the contract 65% for option 2 and 3, and then 55% for option number 4. The second category of street sweeping is the enforcement cost and staffing. So it's very self-explanatory. In option number 1, which is the current practice, we have 5 full-time officers. Total cost is $370,000. 1 supervisor at $85,000 for, I guess, the total of $455,000. And then all the other options which relate to the alternate side, alternate day, will be quite a bit more because the officers are going to be 8 that will be required, and then the cost is going to go $592 plus the $85, some $677,000 for the option 2 through 4. Next slide, please. And then the other cost category is street sweeping, enforcement costs, and equipment. Again, self-explanatory. These demonstrate all the field equipment, both for the officers as well as the supervisor. And I'm not going to go into the detail. Again, option number 1 is quite a bit less, as you can see, compared to 2 through 4. And then signage cost, again, all the signs are installed. So under current practice, there will be no cost, whereas, the alternate side, alternate day, option 2 through 4, there is quite a bit of cost involved, as far as sticker, placement on the sign, additional signs, and so on and so forth. Now, a few other considerations in two categories I wanted to share with City Council. Environmental, of course, should the City Council consider the alternate day, alternate sweeping, it would really increase the fuel consumption, because the sweeper has to go there twice. There is noise issue. There is also airborne dust, increased emissions. Me personally, having had experience in the other cities managing street sweeping program, if there is alternate day, all it takes is one wind, all the leaves and, such, go on the other side, and it becomes counterproductive. Equipment wear, it's another consideration, for the sweepers, and also the wear and tear on our pavements, because there's more load, there's more trips, going on our streets. So, what is total cost for current practice compared to alternate day, alternate sweeping? This slide demonstrates that. There is a category for one-time costs, which is for a street sweeping purchase and other stuff, and then the annual cost after the first year. And as you can see, currently, it's 1.9, 1.7, and then all of a sudden it jumps to, multi-million, 5 million, 2 million. And the only reason the option number 4 is a little bit less is because of the 4-day sweeping as opposed to 5-day sweeping. Staff research some of the cities in the neighborhood of the city of West Covina, and Rosemead, Cerritos, Chino, La Mirada, Monrovia, Montebello, and Monterey Park. They all have the same current practice that we have. They do both sides on the same day. And then I think that pretty much takes care of my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Where is that option of the same street sweeping with the exception of the high density? And then we sent you a bunch of emails of residents of certain exceptional areas that they are not high density, but because of the layout, logistics, and everything, that was supposed to be added to that. So how come I don't see that on this option? Because we wanted to keep because there's lots of parts in the city that is okay with same day, just because they could, they have places. But then there are other parts in the city, not just the high density areas, medium density, but it's the layout, the logistics of that street per se. And we did get those emails, but I don't see that. I was hoping to see that in this presentation.
Madam Mayor, when we started the initial rollout doing the warning notices, and yes, we had concerns regarding the posting of signs, the location of poles, and the lack of parking. At some point, we were asked to stop the warning notices and then continue doing the entire city for an extended period of time. What we'd like to do, if we move forward with option 1, is to again revisit and reinstitute the warning notices, and then identify areas that need additional attention, concern, as you're mentioning, because the high density areas have already been identified. They're already posted with alternating side of the street. Understanding that some streets in the city, maybe it's a cul-de-sac, maybe it's a street with no driveway, something like that, may need some special attention. But until we do roll out the program completely and do it for a period of time, we won't be able to capture what is actually a problem and what is actually persons using the street for the permanent storage of vehicles, the abandonment of vehicles on the streets. The idea would be to identify those, run the program for a period of 1 year, come back to the council after a year, and give a complete update on what we've done to address issues as we've identified them, and then at that time make any modifications, permanent modifications of the program. But I think by rolling out the program with option 1, we'll be able to identify, capture, and resolve most of the issues that residents have.
So my issue is we wasted a few months, and I wanted to know why this wasn't completed. We've asked in the council to push this because we were giving warning signs. We have received emails of those that are already frustrated because they're expecting the street sweeping, and they're saying that their neighbors are not moving and it's still there. They wanted to see, citations or get that going. And it's like we have these signs, and I thought when we were a few months ago, we said, go ahead and push this. And as we were receiving emails, we were bringing that to your attention so that you can see which streets needed special attention. So my thing is, this should have been already being implemented because these warnings should have been already done. So why wasn't that being done? Because as you've seen, we forward you emails that we get for complaining on both sides. I mean, there are residents that want this street sweeping, and they're saying, why aren't we issuing anything? And they're just, why are we not enforcing it? So I'm hearing it from both sides, but I've said it in the past, those special streets, we forward those emails of those concerns. So one, why wasn't it being implemented and getting that done? And two, if this is already going to, let's say we approve with whichever, when is this enforcement when is it going to start?
I understand your questions. So initially, when we were starting the program with the warning notices, we were in the process of recruitment and hiring of street sweep officers to work the street sweeping program. We did hire the bodies that we were expecting to hire because the program was being put on hold. We never finished the recruitment process. So we were using existing staff to supplement the program by getting out there and doing the warning notices. Subsequently, over the last 6-8 months, we've lost those staff to other cities, other promotional opportunities, whether it be law enforcement or another field. So we didn't have the staff. The vehicles that we purchased originally, those are still yet to be outfitted. We were waiting for approval from the council for a budget amendment to move this money from use the measure monies to finish outfitting all of our equipment, our vehicles, and also to hire the staff needed for this program.
And that's not being put and given to us prior for these budget amendments?
Well, we need to decide, the council needs to decide what program we're going to go with first. Because if we're going to go with option one, we'd be able to start the warning notices almost immediately, probably have enforcement within 30 days if that's what the council wanted. If we were to go to another option, 2, 3, 4, we would have to do a full recruitment, hire additional staff, and that does take time. We'd have to have additional vehicles, and again, we'd have to order additional street sweeping equipment from going from 4 street sweepers to 7 street sweepers. And the part-time model for staff using that many sweepers is not feasible. We'd need to hire anywhere from 24 to 28 officers if we were to go to any of the other options.
So all the emails that we had sent and forwarded that probably does not belong in high density areas, are they going to be taken into consideration within, like, if we choose option one, are those already part of that and is going to be moved forward with changing it to alternate sites?
Yeah, we will be identified. We do have that list of people that have submitted requests, and a lot of the requests were more complaints about the signage themselves. They didn't want poles in front of their house. They didn't want the signage. They didn't want the program, period. Whether there's a true need to adjust signage, that's something we would need to make the determination. You can't make the determination just off following maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. We need to follow for a good 30 days weekly to identify what's a real concern and what is people being us, again, using the street for the storage of their vehicles.
Okay, I'm going to let my council colleagues before I continue on. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes, I think the Mayor Lopez Villado brought a good point. I believe the council voted for the city to track those emails and come back to us with a report so we could know how we could address this issue as a whole for the whole city. And right now we're being asked to authorize more money. Even option one, it's asking for $50,000 for a new vehicle and then $87,000 for staff equipment. But I don't know how I could support something that authorizes more funding when we first have not even gotten that data back from the first ask that the council asked as a whole, which was a report from everyone who had concerns in those high density areas. So maybe it's more cost efficient if we just address those specific areas instead of doing a huge rollout that's going to cost us thousands and thousands of dollars. And then my second concern is and maybe this is Karen's question, but the staff, when it says enforcement staff, supervisor 85,000, but then it says full-time enforcement staff 60,000 for option 1, it does not include the benefits or any other benefits that we have to pay on top of that. Maybe Karen can answer that.
I'll ask Karen to come down, but when we calculated the costs for staff, we were looking at fully burdened cost. We weren't looking just at the hourly, it was fully burdened.
$60,000 for a full-time staff is with benefits? It can't be.
Are you looking at the equipment cost?
I'm seeing option 1 under street sweeping enforcement costs.
Mike.
Oh, Mike, we can't hear you. Shift.
I'm sorry. The costs that are indicated here for the employment cost is fully benefit, which means includes the benefits, the taxes, anything related to the employment.
So what's the base salary then without benefits for a full-time enforcement staff member?
I would say it's probably around 48 to maybe 58, 60. Because of retirement costs, but yes, it's fully burdened, which includes all employment costs.
Yeah. So my concern is, I think for me to support anything like this, I wouldn't even pick one of the options right now. I will probably say, let's get that report back before we can even make a decision on an item like that. But that's my questions.
Councilwoman Diaz. Oh, you want to go?
Yeah, I can go first. Okay.
Councilman.
You want the lady first?
Oh, sure.
Mayor, rock, paper, scissors.
I regret it.
I don't recall requesting some sort of a report and gathering emails to come up with the report. I do recall that we asked for an estimate or an amount of what it was going to cost to have alternate sides of the street. That I do remember, but I don't remember having a report that needed to be provided by the council. And I mean, this is what we wanted. We wanted to know how much it was going to cost. And this is telling me it's a lot of money to have it alternate, and that would be citywide. And I think that your suggestion about implementing what we have already and then look and wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens with the residents. Let's see where we're going to have the problems and then address them at that point. Another thing I want addressed is the signs, because I know people complained about those signs. It was way too many signs on these streets. So, I mean, that's something else that I think we should address. So at this point, I say we leave it at option 1, the way we have it, and deal with the problems as they come and find out where those, high density areas that we don't know about are not addressed anymore, and address the signs.
Are you going to move the motion?
Well, my thing on the report.
My turn.
Yes.
Can I say something?
Hold on one moment. For table 1, you wrote both sides of the streets are soap one day after trash collection. It should be included because that's why I asked the question with the exception of high density. It wasn't listed on there. So that needs to be clear. So if anybody in the public pulls a report, they already know alternative sites are for high density area. And it'd be great for the public and for us to know which are those sites and what streets. But that's just a comment. Now go ahead, Councilman.
Thank you, Mayor.
Just for clarification, Mayor, you were talking about option 2, right?
No,
it's
one.
One.
Oh, option 1. Okay.
Nobody can afford an option 2.
No. I mean, I thought I
file
heard
bankruptcy
saying
for option 2, 3, 4. Are you going to move the motion?
Table 1, you meant.
I'll move the motion.
Okay, I'm going to have a second. Yeah, I'm going to go to you. Okay, let me finish one. Okay, and I want to say this. Okay, and it has been delay. I receive both sides. I receive a lot of complaint that we put a sign, but we never enforce. And a lot of residents complaining about the car parking in front of their house all the time, forever. So, and they want their street clean. So that's one side. And I have a few talking about, okay, they need to have a place to park their car because both sides. So we have both sides. But the thing is this, since this is already approved, and we need to go to the option 1, something that we can afford it. 2, 3, 4, 5, that's impossible. It's $2 to $5 million. You're going to squeeze our paving the street. You're going to squeeze about our street improvement, the traffic sign, the safety, the park, paving, and the striping the school. It's impossible. So I think, I think option one, but we need to implement and to see how it goes. And I agree with my council colleague. They're talking about, why we didn't get some of the data. I've been asking about if we implement, we follow, then we will see the problem. We're not going to give them a ticket, we give them a warning. But we can find out the problem. With that problem, we do improvement, see how we can do it. But a lot of time, if you one resident, some of my neighbor, if they own 10 cars, they cannot park on our street forever, because they own 10 cars. Or like, our resident talking about somebody have ADU, 20 people live inside, 30 cars on the parking lot, this and that on the street, and that would be the issue. So because a lot of ADU, we don't require a garage. So they will park on the street. But we need to clean the street, weekly, and then make sure that our debris. Look at the heavy heavy wind, you can see the leaf on the street like crazy. So I think we have to at least give a try, and see how it goes. And then control the budget, because I know this is a restricted fund, but still we need to control the budget using this money not only for street sweeping, but also for other projects. And by the same time, we need to implement the enforcement. You have a law approved, ordinance approved, but we don't enforce. Then residents will laugh at us. What the heck is this? Otherwise we shouldn't from the beginning. If we approve, enforce and see how it goes and make sure the education give it time. For example, like trash. Now the blue bin, everybody put out the blue bin. All my neighbor, my wife recycle like religiously, make sure everything separate this and that. And that based on, the trash company, that's like what? 250 million ton off the downside. So this is a lot of things we have no choice if we want to clean our street and make sure our living in the and safe and with sanitation sanitize with all this public health issue, and we need to make sure our city is clean, streets clean. So that's why we're willing to do this and make sure the car don't park over there forever, even including they have a cover on there and like the parking lot. So anyway, I really want to see the city to implement and to give a try and to make sure, have people follow. My office in Temple City, I got parking ticket because, I paving my parking lot. And then I forgot it's a street sweeping day. I got ticket. And right away. And even I run over there. She said, sorry, you're too late. So I still got a ticket. But my point is this. All other city implement, try to clean their street, and we should do the same thing. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Oli Contos.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I really appreciate it. I have several questions. First of all, to our acting city manager, with regard to abandoned vehicles, is it not true that we already have a way to report if there are abandoned vehicles that should be moved? Then somebody calls it into the city, and then it's marked, and then they have 3 days to move it, and then does that mechanism for addressing abandoned vehicles already exist as things stand now?
That does exist, and we do have residents report vehicles that appear to be abandoned on public street. They are marked for 72 hours, and after 72 hours, they are subject to removal.
And how frequently do we, just on a rough estimate, how frequently do we receive reports of abandoned vehicles on an annual basis, just roughly?
I would think 500 to 700 a year.
And then those are handled individually. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Ahmad, thank you for your degree of detail. I really appreciate it. I wanted to ask, with regard to the costs, from what I'm understanding, option one has one initial cost of almost $2 million, and then after that, it's $1.8 million for each year following. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So just having verified that, Karen, in light of our budgetary situation at present, what would that do to our having a balanced budget? And if we were to have to spend an additional $1.8 to $2 million a year for each succeeding year, what would that do to our general operating budget in terms of what we have access to for other things?
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Well, first of all, I'd like to point out for the street sweeping, this is not general fund monies. This is basically using special revenue funds. So like your Measure W, some of your Measure R, not general funds. What will the fiscal impact be? If you can imagine taking $2 or $3 million from your special revenues for street sweeping, and it's going to be diverted from, say, street projects or other capital projects that you may wish to do. Those will have to be delayed or deferred until a later point in time.
So could those monies be used for other things, such as continuing to increase our PCI index with our roads?
Absolutely.
And so based on your experience from the past with what we have approved previously with regard to improvement of our roads with all of the 16 zones, what would an additional $1.8 million to $2 million do per year for increasing the speed for us to repair our most seriously deteriorating roads, along with maintaining other roads through slurry seal?
Well, in $1 to $2 million, you should be able to do resurfacing projects, not the entire city, but resurfacing projects, most definitely, as an example.
But to what extent would we have added capacity if we were to use the money for that instead? I'm just curious. I realize this is sort of putting you on the spot, but just ballpark, because you reviewed and have been overseeing that contract for our road rehabilitation program. I mean, I don't know if anybody can check, but what I'm curious about is how much do we spend on our roads now, and what would happen if we were to spend that amount of money on road condition repair and improvement?
Yeah, Mayor Pro Tem, I don't have an exact number as to how much we spend on the streets at the moment. We can definitely provide that, but as far as 1.8 or about 2 million, how far does it go as far as additional streets? To be honest with you, it would be a good supplement to the existing street paving program, but it's not going to go, very far. It might add another, I don't know. I mean, it depends.
Miles roughly.
Yeah, depending on whether it is grind and overlay or.
Sure, I understand.
If it is slurry seal, it will probably cover a larger area.
Sure.
But if it is grind and overlay, some dig outs, reconstruction of pavement, I want to say probably 1.5 miles.
Okay, so over time, and how many, you may recall this from your past work with us here, how many miles of roads do we have that are in need of, because obviously we do road repair on an ongoing basis, and our goal is to increase our PCI score ideally to 80, and we're only at 70 something now. So in its aggregate, if we were to add another 1 mile to 2 miles of road repair each year, that would it suffice to say that would increase the speed for our road rehabilitation to eliminate potholes on a more frequent basis, so as to expedite our road rehabilitation program in light of planned implementation with the 16 zones?
Yeah, so I don't have the exact center miles, but in the report it says we sweep 463 curb miles. So if you divide that by 2, it's a number, to consider. But going back to your question, a couple of $1 million a year, I can't say that it won't impact on improving the PCI.
That's what I wanted to ask.
It may not be a huge pace,
sure,
considering the large city as West Covina is.
Sure.
It won't be zero either.
But in the aggregate, it does increase our ability to expedite and increase capacity for road rehabilitation.
It will definitely contribute to it.
Okay, thank you. Then the next question I have is, I agree with Councilman Wu that we need our streets clean. We absolutely do. In the past, when we did our meetings in May, June, and October of 2023, those workshops revealed something really interesting. During each of those meetings, folks were asked, how many of you have problems with the cleanliness of your streets? And out of the dozen plus people there, roughly dozen, maybe one or two. And then when further inquiry was asked with regard to, well, what is the situation in those areas? It happened to be more dense areas or maybe a neighbor who had multiple renters, that sort of thing. So they were relatively more isolated. So what would be your opinion, Ahmad, with regard to doing a more tailored approach where if we were to dedicate our street sweeping resources to attacking those areas that are in need of greater street cleaning, and then instead of doing all of this enforcement this way, with the vast majority of 93% of the city not really having enforcement issues before we did all of this because the streets were already considered clean, what would be the implications in terms of our being able to use that money instead to making sure to advance what the councilman has said about keeping streets clean, but yet not applying a solution where if there's a problem in 7% of the cities or 10 or 15% of the city, we don't apply that solution overbroad with areas that weren't really dirty in the first place because they were fine with street sweeping twice a month.
We do have the street sweeping company here, or subject matter experts on that. I believe our analysis when we met with the street sweeping company is wouldn't save us very much money. It'd be additional costs if we went to these some sort of hybrid modified routes. But I'll ask Nishka to come up and answer questions specifically.
Oh, hi, Nish.
And one thing you should also recognize, Mayor Pro Tem, is we currently are under contract for $1.3 million as our existing contract. Whether we're doing enforcement or not, we're still paying the $1.3 million.
I understand.
Right now.
I understand that.
Okay. Understood. Thank you.
Hi, Nish. It's good to see you.
Mayor, nice seeing you, Ms. Pro Tem, council members. My name is Nish Bedrosian. To address that question, I think that is the approach that's being formulated by the acting city manager, where maintain the current program, in a sense, restart it correctly and identify those dense areas to see what we can do to convert them to alternate day. But that will take several months, perhaps 6 months, to do proper study and target those areas and again, repost them accordingly. But overall, I think the current program that's in place, it just needs to be properly enforced and implemented.
So, Nuj, from your logistics standpoint, and I've spent a lot of time with you, and I really appreciate all of your operational knowledge. I want to say that here. You are really, really good at what you do. You've been at this for more than 30 years. And so, in light of all of your operational expertise, what would be the cost implications if we were to continue what we are doing with you already with the 1.3 under contract, but for any additional street sweeping that's needed to apply those resources more toward areas that need street sweeping once a week versus other areas that only need street sweeping twice a month because those areas really aren't dirty because of the way that they're set up and it's not as dense and so forth. So what would be a possibility there for us to increase the attention to detail with surgical precision by dedicating our additional resources just to those areas that require more attention, but yet without having to do extra street sweeping, let's say 4 times a month versus 2, which, in other words, instead of spending all that money for all of that, which wasn't necessary in the first place because residents have said that it's not really dirty with, only twice a month. If we were to do with surgical precision and spend more resources toward the problem areas, what would that look like in your eyes?
Clearly, that's up to the city to decide, not for me to have any input. But for commonality and fairness of our practices, it's common to sweep the entire city under the same frequency. So if one area of the city is being swept once a week, the other twice a month, there's an imbalance there. Everybody pays their taxes. Everybody's expecting the same level of service. So from our point of view, it's got to be a blanket frequency. However, the way it's divided between alternate site, alternate day, that's case by case, area by area, but once a week across the board is the right approach from my point of view, from my experience.
Because Naj, as you know, there are different types of scenarios where some houses have driveways where there's no availability to park in the front, and then there's an alleyway in the back. Some have 2-car garages. There are other places where there's more parking density due to more ADUs or other situations in which there are more apartments or condos and so forth. And would you say that the needs of those areas are the same as those in less dense areas?
Minus the pattern of the route, it should be the same. Once a week sweeping should be across the board. However, the approach of dividing the street to alternate day, again, a proper study got to be done, surveys got to be done, and then the solution is basically to those certain areas do alternate day versus both sides on the same day. However, that once a week frequency should be sufficient across the board for every street.
Again, so you're saying that it's, even if there are areas that are less dirty, that it's still appropriate to sweep those streets just as frequently as other areas that require more attention?
That has been the standard of the industry. That's very common, and for the, again, sake of fairness, that everybody gets equal amount of services once a week across the board throughout the city is the right frequency. And that's what I recommend from my experience, but again, up to the city.
I understand, but I'm just asking from an operational standpoint, because if there are areas that are not as dirty and where residents have literally said that twice a month was fine with them, then theoretically that would mean that those areas that are in less need of street sweeping with higher frequency, those resources can then be dedicated to the higher need areas, where in the higher need areas we can make sure to continue to sweep once a week because of the scenarios that I've described. I guess the thing that I'd like to propose to this council is actually to bring something else up too. All of this enforcement, as residents, we don't want to live in an excessive police state. We already have, there are people who are struggling as it is already. And then there are some situations where there are people who have nowhere to park, and that has to be addressed. And that has to be more with precision, with figuring out the parking rules and how that's going to be. And that has still to continue. And then what also happens when people go on vacation and they leave for more than a week, then if that household has more than one car that has to be parked in the street that can't be moved because they're away for a long period of time, then that causes a difficulty for them, because then now they're going to have to pay fines. Let's say the parking fine is $60 per car per violation. That can add up too. And so what I'm proposing to our council is that we especially in light of our budgetary constraints and the deficit that could result from our unnecessary and excessive spending, and especially given how people are already unhappy about the sign pollution that has already taken place, that we've all gotten complaints about, and especially when adding to the fact that people don't like that feeling that this is sort of an indirect tax on them, because eventually this is just a way to generate more revenue to the city. Whether that's true or not, that feeling of residents is not a good thing either, because our residents are just trying to make do in their lives, and the stuff that we do should basically be operating in the background. So what I'd like to propose is that we do a reset in a sense, where we continue to use nationwide environmental services and at the level that we are. But if we can please modify this where we don't have to spend all of that money on that excessive money on enforcement, and especially when it comes to, oh, well, the money will be there'll be revenue coming in from parking tickets. Well, when people get parking tickets, eventually they stop, and then that revenue goes down, which will mean we will have longer term ongoing budgetary costs. As even with option one, that's a problem. So what I'd like to suggest is that we be really precise with this and ask staff to go back to the drawing board to have a more precise approach where we can look at doing a reset where we return to where things were prior to January 2025, and then to address the areas that do need street sweeping every week. That way we can dedicate our resources in the most effective way possible. And then with areas that don't need street sweeping as much and that already have assigned pollution in those more single family residential areas, we can reduce the street sweeping there. It's not a matter of fairness. If the streets are already clean and they're fine, then it's not an issue. If the streets are dirty because of less frequency, then they can be added to the list. So it's not even merely a matter of doing what's fair. It's the bigger issue. What's fair is our spending the taxpayer money that we've been entrusted with in a way that's fiscally responsible. So I'd like to ask, and I know there's a motion. I realize there's a second already, but I'd like to request that we go back to the drawing board and ask staff to follow this plan that I've generally outlined.
Point of order. Yeah, I can understand. Okay, and want to have a mayor permission. I think you want a substitute motion because we already a motion. I have a second. So if you want to change, okay. So am I right, attorney?
I still was articulating my motion though.
Then it would be a substitute motion unless you're going to ask the maker of the motion to amend and the Councilmember Diaz or Councilmember Wu was
no.
Second. Okay. The second, to accept the amendment. But if it's a longer motion, it changes it entirely. Just do a substitute motion.
Yeah, it's more like a substitute because it changes everything.
So I wish to make the substitute motion reflecting what I've just articulated.
I'll second.
Which includes going back to the drawing board, doing a reset, addressing this with precision in order to be more fiscally responsible, just like I've outlined over the past 5 minutes.
I'll second it based upon what the mayor also articulated earlier about what Mayor Lopez Villado stated earlier too.
Okay, before we roll call, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I think this. Okay, this is a restricted fund. Okay, restricted fund is about $58 million, and general fund about $58 million. Okay, restricted fund basically from all this gas tax. Okay, and a major. Okay, all this basically just for the street. And so, okay, this 1.8, no matter what, we're paying 1.3. So we still have, we already have a contract. So we basically increased $500,000 to do the weekly street sweeping. And I 100% disagree. We only go to certain area, go to weekly, and then other neighborhood go to. I don't think it won't work because other residents will absolutely sue the city. It's not fair because they pay taxes and they want the taxes be equally, no matter how clean they will sweep their street. They want that weekly street sweeping over there too. I received a lot of phone call about that. But my point is this, okay, paving the street, that funding, I think we already lay out on the budget, that on the restricted fund, and you already have a map when you paving, when this on that, we already budget on the restricted fund. About this $1.8 or $1.3 million for street sweeping, and this is another budget, okay, and that's to make sure our streets clean and all debris not going to go to the stone drain. And that is what the state requires us to do it. Okay, and even we put a stone capture for the debris, but they still have a grease and a lot of things. And my street, even not so many car parking over there, but still have some car because the school. I live in the school zone. There are a lot of car park over there, and then when they're gone, it's filthy because they littering and this and that. Okay, and sometimes I have to clean it myself. But the point is this: with a tree, leaf. Okay, and the weekly street sweeping is a necessity. It's necessary for this. So I don't see any city will do a special for one area. Am I right, sir?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a common practice. We haven't done it.
Yeah, because, okay, I can guarantee.
Same frequency, alternate days.
To be fairness, everybody pay taxes, and even more difficult for you, okay, and to operate some area doing this, some area this and that, and it's not like a routine. The routine is the route, this, and the sweeper go out, clean it, okay, make sure the street clean. Somebody say not enough water, make sure the water and can suck out all the debris as a trash collector, and make sure our street is clean and spotless. So that's how we pay you for. Okay, and it's what state want us to do it. So in that way, I don't think that alternative this will work. And again, to give the city we approved for 2 years ago, okay, and we haven't implemented. And there's so many people are not happy about why we haven't make sure, okay, that all the neighbor parking on there and create a lot of neighbor feel, okay, and if we can make sure just 1 week, 1 day, couple hours, okay, move your car, okay, and with sweeper gun, move your car back, it's fine, but just let us clean the street, okay, it's not whole day, not overnight, it's just during the street sweeping time. So keep our city clean, keep our city beautiful, okay, and we need to, and I think back and forth and send back to the drawing board again, this thing will never happen, and our resident will hate us, say, oh, we want you to do this, and you cannot make it happen. So I will against the substitute motion. I will support, our Councilwoman Diaz, motion, and let's give a try, have the city to make sure, and then make sure we're not here to ticket people or fine people. We're here to warning and make sure they can comply. And when the residents see, like any other city, see the sweeper, they understand. Let's move the car, let them clean, move your trash can. So our sweeper, we pay for it, can clean the street. I think especially during the trash day, they have a lot of trash debris on the ground, on the floor, on the street. So hopefully that can be clean. So in a way, not everybody can just go to the street to sweep in front of their house, but I think they all depend on the sweeper to clean it. I think as a city council, we are here to do something. I know few residents complain, but we're here for the common benefit for the public health, public safety. Make sure our city is nice and clean and clean, and that's what residents want us to do. So we just have to take this very tough task. Even some people complain, but we want to say, please work it out. See how can we work it out, and to make sure we can do our job and to deliver our promise. So again, I will support Councilwoman Diaz, the city to do the option 1 to give a try. Okay, and after that, and see how we work it out and make sure resident, and we will hear from people. I think this is important to implement first.
Councilwoman Diaz.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I understand Councilman Cantos' concern about spending or overspending taxpayers' dollars, and but I still think that we should continue with the option 1 as far as the street sweeping and being consistent throughout our city. However, I'm wondering if it even makes a difference if we, after all the street sweeping's done and we have our code enforcement enforcing the street sweeping, if it come a time when they don't need it, we don't need to have code enforcement behind. And we can just enforce that in areas where we have problems, where people don't comply. I don't know if the monies come out of the restricted funding for their salaries, but I'm just throwing that out there as an option if you want to save money.
That is possible. I've seen cities where they've reduced the number of staff based on compliance by the residents. A couple things to point out is the program's currently funded under measure money, and all the options are considered under revenue measure money. Revenue from street sweeping, let's say the citations themselves, any citation revenue would not go to general fund. That would go back to the measure money, the reimbursement for the, say, street improvements, stuff like that. So if it costs $400,000 for enforcement, the idea is that the program itself would be self-funded by the revenue, and that would be returned to the measure money. Hopefully, it also offsets some of the costs of the initial the contract costs of the street sweeping. Mayor Pro Tem Cantos, while I don't disagree with your point, the city's already posted with 7,000 signs. And even if we were to try to go with some sort of hybrid model, now you're looking at reposting areas of the city, let alone we would not know what streets or what areas need additional sweeping or less sweeping until we actually implement the program and we have staff following the sweepers. So until we implement the program, we will have no data to even report back of if there was an area that needed less or more street sweeping. I think the idea of moving forward with option one and the current program, and then through a period of time identifying areas that need adjustment, staff will work with Nationwide and adjust those streets accordingly. We've already discussed with Nationwide to take all the school zones where we are currently posted in front of street sweeping in front of schools, and to sweep those at a time when there's nobody around. Sweep them at 5 or 6 in the morning, and get those out of the way all at the same time, so we don't run into school in session or out of session crowds. So we're adjusting, but until we have the manpower to get out there and roll out the program, we really can't capture the data and some of the questions that you have. I will say that the initial, when we first posted the signs, the complaints we received, a lot of them, if not most of them, were before we even started doing warning notices. They were just getting ahead of it, saying, I'll have no place to park. Whether that's true or not, we don't know until we roll out the program. In some areas of the city, someone may be parking their vehicle on the street and unable to move it because maybe they have 3 abandoned vehicles in their driveway. Or maybe they do have a legitimate concern and they don't have a driveway and limited parking. But until we get out there and do an honest rollout of this program and follow the sweeper for a period of time, at least a month, we won't be able to answer those questions. But we first need to get out there.
Madam Mayor? Go ahead. Thank you. Thank you so much. So as a possible hybrid approach, can we commit to less money and just do this over the next few months to see in order to do the base trial period? Actually, the other thing that I worry about is with regard to the thing that we solve one problem but create another, because let's say right now I'm aware that there are people who park their cars on their grass, which is also a problem, but they have nowhere to go because of all the cars that they have at their house and it's so forth. And so how is it that it would be less prudent for us to be more surgical with the expenditure of our resources than for us to rush through with this without, in light of the concerns that I've enumerated?
Well, I don't know how we'd capture the data you're requesting without having the staff to follow the sweepers in the first place.
Okay.
Go ahead. Well, first, I just want to say I have not received one email that said, no, don't do weekly street cleaning. The only concerns is the parking situation. The second is what may be clean to one person, the neighbor might says, no, it's not clean in my standards. So everybody has different standards. So equality should be there. And every streets have its issues. I know we would get complaints when we had the mass winds. All the debris was on the street. They were complaining to us, get that clean, clear that out. But it's not street sweeping yet. And then the second issue in regards to parking, there's currently street sweeping that is happening right now. So everybody is already trained to make things work. We have things in place. So whether they're on vacation and they leave their car for over a week, they could be reported to 72 hours. And then there's that. We have street sweeping. So it's the same situation. The enforcement is to comply. And as we said, we're not here charging people, make you pay. We're here to try to create a system to make sure what we have in place works, what doesn't work. And that's why what we had said when we had residents email us, we said, let's try this out, see how it works out. If we need to make changes, we need to. Now, the complaints that I received, they're fine with the same day, but they request alternate times just to be able to move the car across and then back on that same day. So whether it's not an alternate days, like pick a different day, they're okay for that. Because I know I had one resident who mentioned they can't find a parking spot for miles away because all that street happens to be street cleaning. So that's a far walk. And so that is a valid concern. So again, those might not be in high density areas, but it's the logistics and the situation of what it was. So that is what I was bringing forth to this. So I'm okay with option one with the exception of high density and, well, we got the schools already taken care of, but the high density and the special streets that have logistic concerns, whether, the parking situation or the streets, some it's like all red, they can't park, whatever it may be. So that is what I'm okay. And so it might not necessarily be alternative days, so we don't have the street sweepers come back. It's just literally they just go all the way through, and then the next 3 hours is at other streets. So those were the concerns that was brought to, at least for my attention, that I had forwarded to city staff. So that's what I want to see, option one, with the exception of those to make it work. And while we are processing with this rollout, the additional data would come in. So we would, whether it's like, okay, 6 months, we're going to go this, but they do need that enforcement, whether that's warning so that they know, hey, this is reality, this is what's happening, and we need to get this going. And then they can, of course, the emails are going to flood in if they do. Some may not, some may do. And then we can help correct and fix that. And then from there, that can come up back to the council if we need to make modifications. But modifications is only specifically to those areas of concern, not the entire city. So that is my input. That's what I wish with option one with those exceptions.
And I can tell you, staff's committed, along with Nationwide, to address and troubleshoot any concerns that need to be addressed. I mean, if an area, we've identified what we believe are the high density areas, but you're right. If we identify an area where they don't have sufficient parking, we need to make an adjustments. We're committed to doing that. But again, until we roll out the program, we won't know if something's really a problem. Some people say it's a problem, but I think what we're seeing is even without the enforcement, I think we have had more voluntary compliance. People are getting used to, hey, the sweeper comes by at 8:30, 9 a.m. Hey, where's the enforcement behind this sweeper? Because I got that one neighbor that's not moving their
car. I have received those emails about complaining.
And that's what we're receiving more now is people asking, why aren't we doing the enforcement? Why aren't people following the sweeper? Right now, we don't have the staff to do that. Option one allows us to move forward and fully implement the program.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Gutierrez.
So I have concerns because you said the same thing when this first came to us. You say you needed more staff. So you have designated positions allocated to code enforcement right now. So why don't we fill those positions first and then implement the program?
We did not hire, so the people we originally hired to start the street sweeping program are no longer with us, and we never refilled those positions. We currently don't have any bodies dedicated for street sweeping.
But now you're asking us to allocate you more positions.
We're looking to allocate 6 positions to the street sweeping program rather than hiring 18 to 24 part-timers. That's correct.
But the last time we implemented this, we already authorized for you to open up more positions. So you already have that allocated in the budget.
The money was not allocated in the budget under the previous administration. Measure money that was supposed to be dedicated for street sweeping was not dedicated to the street sweeping. And that's part of why there's a small increase now, is because there wasn't monies budgeted for the other items that are needed, including the staff. The money that was allocated was for the 4 vehicles which were purchased. That's correct.
And so we purchased the additional vehicles that the city requested, but now we're asking for more vehicles.
We're asking for 1 more vehicle. That's correct.
And do we not have any other vehicles laying around?
Unfortunately, in the past year, and Mike Crespo, if he's here, can speak to it, we've probably decommissioned 3 or 4 vehicles. Most of our vehicles are repurposed. They're repurposed from the police department and fire department. So as they get to 200,000 miles, they finally break down and they're decommissioned. So those vehicles that we had 6-8 months ago, we no longer have.
Yeah, I mean, I see a bunch of brand new ones upstairs, and my concern is option 1 specifically states maintain the existing street sweeping schedule and routes and direct staff to review current signage for potential citywide posting improvements. Now, I support that, but I don't support $2 million to do that job. I mean, why can't we do that job first and then come back to us and tell us what realistically we need to financially approve to implement any changes? Because right now we're technically being it's a blindsided vote, because you're saying that you're going to do this, which I support option one on the top, but then you're asking for 1.9 million and then 1.7 million just to do option one, which option one does not include implementation of an alternate size street sweeping schedule. So I'm confused. Option one, as it's written right now, I support it because it has no money take to it. But then when you look at the report, option ones are all over the report as a financial cost to us. So I'm confused. Why can't we just implement option one, find that an analysis, get that analysis done that option one technically entails, and then we could allocate funding. And if you need 10 more cars, or if you need 6 more employees, let's do it. But we can't get there if we don't do option one without a price tag first, because that's technically an analysis, and we cannot implement an analysis if we don't have that in front of us. So we're technically approving a blank check for 1.9, but once you do the analysis, you might find out that you actually need more employees, more cars, and that's the concern I have.
So right now, you're already spending the 1.3, right? So the increase you're looking at annually under option one is about $400,000. It's not in the millions. And again, to do the analysis, you would need the staff to do the analysis. I don't have anybody right now. The city doesn't have anybody right now to even follow the sweepers or identify that. Now, look, if we hire 6 people to do the street sweeping, and in a year from now we say, you know what, there's really no need for them, then we'll remove them from the budget. But until you have staff to do the analysis, I don't know any other way to identify what works and what does not work.
Yeah, but I don't think our city, in the history of our city, we don't like hiring people and then firing them, because I think FEMA has a fire program that the council, we did not approve to implement. And so because of that, and so again, option one, as it's written, it's confusing, because option one, as it's written right here, that you're asking the council to vote, doesn't have a price tag with it.
What price?
Within the report that you could, I guess, read throughout the report, but in option one itself does not say authorize financial. It just says maintain the existing street sweeping schedule and routes, and direct staff to review current signage for potential citywide posting improvements. So as it's written right now, my understanding of that, it's based upon that wording, it's not authorizing an X amount of money. The city attorney could clarify how it's written, but
I think if you go to the last page and you look at the fiscal impact, it's pretty clear that we're already spending the $1.3 million on the contract. We're already committed to that. We're recommending that take option one, which will add the enforcement staff to follow the sweeper, to roll out the program, issue the warning notices, start enforcement, do a complete analysis of not only what areas should be deemed should be maybe captured under alternating sides, higher density, or have unique problems that require alternating sides. Also, to have the staff to identify if signage needs to be removed or updated, relocated. That was our commitment. To adjust any signage in the city that need to be adjusted.
And based upon what you said, that would be considered option 3 in an alternate direction, because option 1 is pretty clear. And the way option 1 is currently written, again, I support it as it's written, but I'm only raising a concern because we are talking about money here openly and within the report. So. And that's. I
understand your point. Yeah. So option 1 would be roughly a $400,000.
Point of order, okay, with permission, okay. And I kind of understand what you're talking about. But you got back and forth say the same thing 10 times. Okay, well, just want to say this. I kind of understand what, this acting city manager about, because we approved one weekly street sweeping $1.3 million, but now you have a staffing and possible you need a car, you need a budget, so we need to approve maybe the additional this $300,000 or $400,000 projection. So it can be more, it can be less, but at least we give you a working capital to hire people and study implement. So I understand. Okay, I think we need to give you. We only approve 1.2. We haven't approved the rest. So tonight is we just want you to. Now you have no excuses, no enforcement. Now you have. Okay, we approve tonight. Then you are going to option 1 to give a try. Okay, and to implement. Okay, and then make sure, and we have people behind the sweeper to look around how they clean it, if they clean or not. If not, then Nationwide will be in trouble. Okay, we might terminate your contract. So we have somebody watching you all the time to make sure our street is so clean we can sleep on it. Okay, so that is what our and want you to perform. And regarding and the parking and that kind of thing, and we want the people to kind of collaborate, cooperate, and couple hours move. And if I talk to a lot of residents, they know what time they come in, and they know what time they cross street. So in that way, they can kind of measure the time to move their car, just cross street, because the sweeper is not coming in the same time, both ways. They come in on this way and they come back after, I don't know how many hours they come back in the afternoon in the cross street, to clean over there. So in that way, I think due to they can move in the thing, so to make sure they can let your sweeper to clean. So I think if we discuss this, we're going to stay overnight over here. I think we already have motion. Mayor, can you see? We have
2 motions, and the first one, do we just go ahead and roll call, and if that approves?
You start from the top down. You have a substitute motion. Councilmember Gutierrez seconded it, and then wanted to add some comments that you made, Mayor, and then it did not finish that. If he's going to add comments to that second motion, then the maker of the motion, Mayor Pro Tem Contos, is going to have to accept those amendments. So, Councilmember Gutierrez?
Technically, it's technically adding, which is what option 1 currently states, but in an analysis. So we did hear from residents who had concerns, and we should technically you could take that off. Take that part.
So are you no longer going to second Mayor Contos?
No, I'm seconding it. Yeah, I'll second his original.
Okay. So you have
clarify my motion is to do a more precision approach that I outlined earlier by dedicating more resources to the areas needing it, but less resources to areas that are less in need of weekly street sweeping.
So we're voting on
the substitute motion.
Okay. And in reference to that, the need is subjective. So I'm for about equality, and I didn't want to get additional complaints saying, well, why only that area? So, but go ahead. We can.
I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Contos, a second by Councilmember Gutierrez to narrow the scope with what Mayor Pro Tem Contos has said. Councilmember Gutierrez.
I have one question, though. Karen, if I'm not mistaken, this restricted funds could also be used for example, doing exchange, for example, with Fort Hill Transit to be able to allocate some of this funding to general fund money that could then be used towards building a newer helping our fire stations, remodel our fire stations, address some of these health conditions our firefighters are living in.
Can I ask what this is? because we have this motion, and I know
I'm asking.
That's a whole new different topic. So I know that's already been done, but that's different.
No, it's the same topic. What I'm asking is, can this restricted funds that you're asking for? It's confusing. So.
Well, we have a motion, and his was very specific in regards to just dedicating certain areas of what supposedly is at need. So that's Mayor Pro Tem's thing. So I'm just going to hypothetically, if in your district, if they don't feel like it's a need, then your district's not going to have any street cleaning weekly. It's only on certain areas. If there is certain areas, but that is all subjective. So that is what he motioned. You second. We're doing a roll call.
And then option 1 is authorizing how much more additional funds?
It's right here. We have subtotal, a one-time cost. It's all on the
So
Each ones have costs.
137,000.
So any options will have additional costs. But again, we're motioning this.
Yeah.
Substitute motion.
Substitute. So we're under roll call.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
One yes.
Yes or no?
So it's 137,000 one-time costs, but then a total recurring annual cost of 455.
But that's not on the motion. The motion is his subjective.
I know, but I have a question before we go to a roll call or before I vote. So it's a one-time cost of 137,000, but then you have an annual recurring cost of 455. How does it jump so high annually after?
I believe you're looking. So, are you looking at our annual street sweeping enforcement staff?
Street
fully burdened
sweeping
rate
enforcement costs. Option 1
under fiscal impact.
Yeah, I believe it's not number.
It's under the total reoccurring annual costs, and that option 1 is the lowest cost at 455,000 versus option 2, 3, and 4 is at 677,000.
So what are we not disclosing?
But it's all written down. They have the breakdown for the enforcement costs. It's literally on, I mean, it's not on the page, but if it's on page 4, that number of full-time staff, the full-time enforcement staff, and the staff equipment, the supervisor costs, the uniforms, handheld radios, vehicles, street sweeping enforcement vehicles, vehicle equipment, light bar decals, police radio. The breakdown is all right there.
So I see the one-time cost
There's
of
a
137. So why are we jumping so high after that?
Well, if you do the math from option 1, line item 2 is 370,000. That alone, and you add on, that brings up 455. So it's just a math. You just add.
Which one are you talking about?
The same page, table 6.
Seeing option 1.
Yes, option 1 on table 6. But if you look at the breakdown, there's the math. So it can't be just 137. You're looking at total one-time cost. But if you look at total full-time enforcement staff costs, fully burdened, annual rate, that alone is 370,000. And then you have 60,000 for the staff equipment, uniforms, handhold, and the list goes on to total 455,000.
Yeah, and so before I vote, again, I have concerns that we're gonna approve a budget that.
Madam Mayor, you have a vote.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so we already have.
We're going to start the roll call.
We already.
We're ready for roll. Point of.
All right, point of order. We have a motion on the floor. Let's please vote.
I have an accommodation to talk before I vote.
I have not received any accommodation. I have not received any accommodation.
Oh my God, we're going to do this again?
Here we go again.
Madam Mayor, finish your comment and let's do the roll call. We're on the substitute motion.
Okay, thank you. I'm allowed to comment. Don't rush me.
Finish your comment.
Councilman Gutierrez, if I may answer your question. On page 4, there's an table number 6, and it's titled Street Sweeping Enforcement Costs. The one-time cost has already been identified. Your question was, what is the annual recurring cost? When we look at table 6, it is the second line item. 370,000 is for the full-time staff. Plus, we have the staff for the supervisor costs, which is 85,000. That equates to your recurring cost of 455,000. I hope I answered that question.
Yeah. So before I vote, I just want to say again, I find it concerning to hire additional staff with no plan, action, and plan. You're technically saying you're going to do the same thing, but then authorizing additional funds that could be used to repair our streets and support our firefighters who are living in horrible conditions. So in regards to Mayor Pro Tem Cantos' motion, I'll say yes.
Thank you. Councilwoman Diaz?
No, it's my turn.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry, Councilman Wu. This is for the substitute motion. Councilman Wu?
No.
Councilwoman Diaz?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Cantos?
Aye.
Mayor Lopez Viado?
No, motion fails. On to the first motion of option 1. But I want to make sure, I don't know if I have to add the substitute motion, but I want to make sure option 1 covers whether it's alternative days or alternative times, so the burden is not on the resident. So if that is covered and that's inclusive of that, then I continue. We have the motion and the second, and we'll do roll call.
Is that okay with the maker's original motion?
Is that okay with Councilman Wu and Councilwoman Diaz? It's option 1 with making sure that we have data, and then we make sure that we take care of the residents with the alternative days or times that will be. So this is going to come back to us again after we roll this out, just to see how it works, the data and everything. And a few months later, then we can come up and then we can make adjustments to the streets that are in need. Okay, perfect. So we have a motion and we have a second.
Councilmember Gutierrez.
I need clarification. So are you asking that be done before we expense?
You need the expense to roll it out.
I don't know why you're laughing at me. I'm asking you a question.
Because we went over this over again.
Being disrespectful.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are. So
Okay.
Can you answer my question, please? I'm asking you a question.
This is it's on the agenda item. It's listed in there, and this is part of rolling it out.
Yes, so I know option 1, but then you're asking them to amend their motion
It's
to
not.
add what you just stated.
They've mentioned that it's already included. So
I'll
we're
ask the
gonna
city
make
clerk
sure.
to clarify it. Assistant City Clerk, can you clarify the motion?
I have a motion by Councilwoman Diaz, a second by Councilman Wu to approve option number 1, including data that Councilwoman Diaz has asked for with parking citations, warning citations, as well as information by Mayor Lopez Viado regarding high-density special streets with logistical concerns like red curbs, alternate times, possibly alternate days.
Okay, so
And signage.
yeah, okay. So with that being said, again, I have concerns regarding allocating funding before we actually get that done. So it's like a smoke screen, but so no.
Councilman Wu.
Aye.
Councilwoman Diaz.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Contos.
This is a fiscal long-term mistake. No.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez Viado.
Aye, motion passes. All right, so now item number 5 has been completed. We are going to City Council reports, AB 1234 conference and meeting report. Any?
Nope.
Okay, City Council requests.
I have a.
Councilman Wu.
Okay, I have Madam AI and to invite Caltrans. Okay, maybe do a presentation why they haven't cleaned up all our off-ramp, on-ramp. Okay, I think right now the grass is overgrown. Okay, it's like jungle over there. It's a fire hazard. And plus, it's really not presentable for our city. So basically, entire our 10, 11 exit, you can see the trash, the overgrown. Okay, I request, okay, and our public work to talk to their public work. We called Caltrans many times, including the accident in front of McIntyre Square. And then they say it's not their jurisdiction. So we want to clarify it's their jurisdiction or city, because my understanding city been trying to do something about Caltrans and say we cannot do anything. Okay, because this is their jurisdiction. We cannot even put the stop sign or anything on Garvey. So we want to clarify and have Caltrans to do a presentation first to talk to them to clarify, because the attorney, the resident already sent attorney letter to them because they don't do anything for us. Okay, second thing is, invite them like before, and let them come to the city council to do a presentation why, when they can do a regular maintenance, to make our freeway look much more presentable, not right now. Okay, so
I do want to second that in regards, because we are in the topic of street cleaning, and sometimes we get complaints from residents that say, hey, you're not cleaning your streets. But mind you, the residents don't know that it doesn't belong to West Covina, it belongs to Caltrans. So within that presentation, I need to make sure that they present so that the residents know where that jurisdiction lies and that the residents know who to contact. I know a lot of times we push to clear that, fix that, and they ignore us, and of course the public has more power. So by all means, we want to make sure that this is here. The residents are here able to listen. The residents are able to know what their contacts, how to rectify all those situations.
And add on one thing, the presentation talk about how they deal with the homeless camping, encampment issue, because we have no jurisdiction to get into their property under the bridge and their common areas. So and all this, you can see the camping right at their off-ramp, on-ramp area. It's a big area, but we don't have jurisdiction to do anything to them. So we want Caltrans to give us authority to do something to help those homeless people, to find a shelter for them. But currently, I talked to the police. They say we cannot even go inside. And the same thing to panhandlers on all the exit, and they trash their neighborhood, and they're standing over there. Almost all the exit on and off ramp, you can see the panhandling like a job every day. They're over there with their office, with their sign, everything. So we want to make sure how can we deal with the issue, and then make sure, again, clean up the neighborhood, and if they are not scammed, how can we help them? Okay?
Any other council comments?
Yeah, I had, excuse me.
I'm sorry, we're still
There was
council
one
request.
by Mayor Pro Tem Contos. I have asked city staff to put together a comprehensive list, and it kind of, if you could finish that for me.
Sure. Thank you for the reminder. To ask that we instruct staff to put together a comprehensive checklist of some sort to go through the fire stations and other city facilities to inspect for habitability issues and other issues relating to health and safety, so that we don't have emergency situations arise like what we had to approve today.
Any other objections? No? Okay, so we have 2 that's moving forward for council requests. Any other council requests?
Yes. In the past, a long while ago, I asked for us to delay the city manager education requirement for a later time. I'm just wondering, I think for under our original, the proof of approved by the majority, we moved it to May the 21st, roughly, or the second meeting in May. I'd like to ask that we move that up to this next immediate meeting coming up.
Do I have support for that?
I'll second.
Oh, what's the motion?
Oh, he wants to move up the city manager regarding the education. It was originally to be moved up to May, but you want to move it up earlier. Is there a reason?
Well, from what I want to make sure that the whole body is here, and I don't know from what I thought I heard that there may be an absence, and I just want to make sure that anything we do is done in the presence of the entire body of the council.
But my question is, I remember, because I clearly remember this because we were supposed to bring it up last year, and you said no, you wanted to move it up to May. So I wanted to know why all of a sudden the rush from May to early on.
Well, because my understanding is that when it's scheduled to come up, that there will be a pending council absence, and I would not like to have this come up at a time when a member of ours is not present.
And then there's a second, and then any just is it extended
or extend? I don't know if we could. I'd like to, but
we cannot do it.
We want to see if we can extend, or in regards to acting city manager, his because regarding the education.
Bring it up the second meeting in May, I believe, and you might not have a full body here. He wants a full body here.
I want the full body here.
You can bring it the first meeting in May. You can. It's up to the council.
But he was asking, is this something that could be extended?
Extended meaning what? There's
later date.
Move back, or
up to the body. It's up to the body.
Go to June first meeting.
It's up to this body. It's not something that needs to be extended. We have an existing policy where the degree is required for all these positions. It's not extending anything. It's going to.
We don't have to do this.
When and if it's changed by the council, so you pick a date.
Wow.
But
so we can just leave it.
Yeah, I think we don't need to do it.
You can do it next meeting. You can do it first meeting in May, June. It's up to you.
Is this a necessary?
Well, it's literally not even relating to the merits. I just wanted to make sure that whenever it does come up, if it comes up, that it's done when the entire body is present. That's literally all.
So the first meeting in May.
I have a question. Okay, Mayor.
Go ahead.
Okay, do we need to do it?
There's no urgency. It
okay.
exists
Great.
now. A degree is required. It's going to bring it to the body if you want to. My understanding is we
then
might
I
have
withdraw.
full council's second meeting in May. So if this body wants to go the first meeting in May or go the first meeting in June, it's up to you.
Yeah, it should be considered when everyone is here. That's all.
If there's no urgency,
He just said he'll withdraw.
okay, done.
So there's no need.
Don't need any drama.
Yeah.
I have a question. But then we're going to open up the city manager position in May, right? Because of our ordinance, because of the because of the voter enacted ordinance we have. So I think by May it's will be a 1 year, and so which means that if we don't do
1 year isn't an issue. It's you did retain an outside firm to do seek out a new city manager. They're prepared. They want to meet with council. They're prepared to start when this body's ready to start looking.
But we have a deadline to do that, right?
No, there's no deadline. Our code says as soon as practicable or as soon as possible. I believe it says that. Our Muni code says that.
So we could keep Mylan longer than a year?
So you can keep Mylan forever.
Oh.
Okay. So since that motion has been dropped, we don't need to move forward with anything. Any other council requests?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a comment.
The next one is council comments. Councilman Gutierrez.
Yes. I just want to say, and these statistics continue to lessen every year, but one in every 64 children born today will be born with autism. And on April 2nd was World Autism Awareness Month, and I wanted to create awareness. I am wearing blue in honor of Autism Awareness Month. Autism is a developmental disability, but to all parents, and to our community and to caregivers, to foster parents who may know someone with autism, always believe in yourself. At times it may be difficult. At times it may be challenging, but know that your passion, your heart, one day will make a difference. I am here today being elected as the first council member elected with autism in our community. And it is a reminder that no matter where you come from in life, that as long as you believe in yourself, the impossible is always possible. No matter if you grew up poor like I did, no matter if you were physically and mentally abused as a child like I was, as long as you believe and never give up and believe in yourself, that's all that counts. And you can achieve anything you want in life when you dream and dream big. Thank you.
Any other council comments? I have one. We attended the Easter extravaganza. The staff did a fabulous job. 30,000 eggs were distributed. There's a lot of happy children and happy families. The only thing I would probably ask is because we had it at Cortez Park and then we had it at Del Norte. And what I noticed is after we did the egg hunt at Cortez, they all fled to go to Del Norte. And so I was like, wait a minute, you already did the egg hunt. So they were doubling it up. And so I think maybe, we should consider maybe combining it. Both sides had different elements, but it'd be nice to probably in the future, maybe that's a council request, to put that together and just have one big event, because what I've noticed is they were double dipping. And then, of course, we had some new community members. We did have a lot of other outside cities coming in, because when I was at Del Norte, I saw other faces. And I know when Councilman Tony Wu has his everyday comment of saying, "Do you love West Covina?" And then when we were at Cortez, traditionally, everybody says yes. And then he was wondering, I wonder if it's West Covina residents.
Where is West Covina?
So when we went to Del Norte, I was speaking, I just had to ask, hey, who's representing La Puente? And we had a few people go, woo, and who's representing Irwindale? All the other local cities surrounding. And I'm like, that's why when they said, do you love West Covina, we didn't have as many on certain areas, because we had a lot of outside, and which is fine. That's great. We welcome all. But, again, since I just saw that with kids literally after the egg hunt, they left. And then I saw a lot of them again at Del Norte
for the egg hunt. And I get it. They want to win that golden egg and Easter egg hunt. But overall, it was a beautiful event. It was great. That was the only thing that I want to see if we wanted to work on. Now you have a comment you'd like to
I'm not, supposedly I want to go home, but I'll go to the installation of Covina mayor's thing. Okay, but I want to say this. I say, okay, and it's a great event. Okay, I want to thank the city staff to put it together. It's a beautiful event. I haven't seen so many baby and kid for a long, long time. Okay, I said this is a population. It's about time. Okay, because the baby is more important than the kids are very happy. And I understand a lot of them it's not from our city, but it's okay. They may be later on moving to our city. Okay, because they see the West Covina is such a beautiful city and we love our kids. I mean, no matter where they're coming from, but they have a great time. I agree. I think we should put it in a big park and maybe give more eggs, provide more eggs. Okay, so maybe they told me 12,000 eggs, so maybe next time we get 20,000 eggs. Okay, so
they had 30,000.
30,000 eggs.
15,000 on one.
Let all the children come to our city, have a great time, and showing the power or the love from West Covina. But I want to thank you. Okay, and it's this great event, and people can see, and the West Covina city really throw a great party, and the Kiwani Club. Okay, thank you so much. But continue to support us, okay, and this is a great event, and we continue to do okay for our community and also on all the residents, the children. United we stand. The community event is bring people together. I think that is very important. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Seeing none, meeting adjourned. Thank you. Have a good night.